Gathered friends, listen again. Wait, what's... Oh no, it's the Vahki. Everybody, get down! Oh god, what am I doing? No, don't touch that! No! Ugh, jeez.
That was the bit you were working so hard on.
What happened? Oh crap, they put us all in Matoran pods. Let's take a roll call, make sure everyone's still here. Let's make sure everyone's still here.
Wait,
okay,
so does that mean in this episode we're gonna be Tohunga again?
Maybe.
Oh god, no.
Or are we just gonna be flashing pods?
Okay, let's see.
With like
so
masks
we got,
spray painted on the side.
sounds like we got Liam. That's good. Levi, you still here?
I am.
Cool.
In a sense.
How about Josie? Are you awake?
I might have fallen off of the tank and might be at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, we'll have to go back and get you later.
Well, we know who's being raised by
Just like
Makuta
that
now.
one guy they left behind.
And who's this new guy?
Who is he?
I don't
Well,
know.
we never know.
I guess we'll just call you Nathan then.
Yeah, I'm Nathan, also known as AvengingOdin over on Twitter, and Bionic Deadpool on the TTV message boards.
Yeah, you're that guy that died in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
A man with many faces.
Well, today, everybody, we read the rest of Book 4 of Biological Chronicle. So that's basically the Legends of Metru Nui movie, plus that little bit at the end where they go to the island. So, what did you all think of this overall before we get into the nitty-gritty of it?
I liked it. I made plenty of memes about it.
I mean, I accidentally read the entire Voyage of Fear portion in a single day without even thinking about it, so that's how much that book still stays with me.
Cool.
I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, this book.
I enjoy it.
It was good, but I'm sick of being cock-blocked by the time that these episodes take to record, because one book is not enough.
Yeah, I found myself, like, inching into book 5, and, like, when I got done with Voyage of Fear, is like, maybe I'll keep going.
I
It kind of just leads straight on, doesn't it?
I take just too damn long to get around to doing anything, so I only just finished the book yesterday and was just watching the movie today.
I only finished it today, so...
I am slow as fuck.
Yeah, Gib, what's your excuse?
I leave it till the very last day so that I can, like, remember everything, because I've fried my brain. I can't remember shit.
Too much. He's been smoking too much harakiki.
I just used Siri to read it to me.
I took plenty of notes because I do that now, I guess.
Yeah.
I have literally one note, and that's it. And it's a note that I came up with when I was like half asleep this morning.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to it.
I took like
Those are
3
the
notes
best
because I
notes.
started the book from the very, very, very beginning.
Yeah, because you're
told about
completely
this?
fucking insane.
Oh yeah. So we realized we didn't have a guest lined up until 4 days before recording.
6.
We just We just randomly picked up this guy from Twitter. Didn't even know if he had on.
We don't know who he is. He just came on and it was like, okay, sure, you're the guest now.
Yeah. He doesn't even have Audacity. We didn't know until it was too late.
I just jokingly messaged Vahki. Was like, you know what? I've been listening to your podcast. Whose dick do I have to suck to get on?
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that's convenient.
Yeah. So all of our listeners, because this is apparently the most popular thing we've ever produced on this channel. If you
That's a
want
long shot.
If you want to be show, then probably just like go to it.
Josie, I really
That's all
think
it
you're
takes.
downplaying the importance of Pringles vlogs.
Oh yeah. That we made $50 that month.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
a lot of money for us.
should we start talking about the book then?
No, I
You
gotta
read a book?
I gotta get
think
back
so.
to Pringles. What do you mean book? All I read were stone tablets and frisbees.
Oh boy.
And stop signs.
No. There were no stop signs in this book. Although, the stop sign may have a cameo in the next book. Thinking emoji.
I'm not sure what you're referring to anymore.
I know what she's referring to. It took me a moment too.
The
Okay.
Are you talking about the Filthy Frank with the Vahki?
No.
What? No,
But what?
What?
Oh, okay, I'll post that into the chat just a second.
The Filthy Frank gif where he has a giant stop sign. He said, "It's time to stop."
Oh.
Yeah.
Again,
Someone photoshopped a Vahki on it.
No, I'm talking about the Mask of Light. How we decided it was basically a stop sign that Takuo was risking his life for.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Anyway.
Yeah,
So, yeah. So we get right back into it where we left off last time. So the Toa Metru, they've gone on their adventures. They've gathered all the records.
I'm sorry that this image has to go on screen. I just love the attention to detail where, like, he's holding the fucking sundial from M-Nog. I love this so much.
It's really good.
It's very good. It's very good. I'm surprised I haven't seen this before, and I'm the goddess of memes or whatever.
So,
Joseph, do you have a Facebook account?
Me, yes.
Okay, join Bionicle Mask posting. There's
I
just
am on that.
everywhere.
I am on that.
Oh, you are?
I don't pay enough attention to it. Memes told me to start posting more of my memes from the Twitter onto it. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm really bad at stuff.
All right.
I'm real good at Twitter apparently.
You know what? When it becomes relevant, I'll just post a bunch of the relevant memes to this conversation into the chat.
Yeah. So my
Alright.
taking notes was weird this week because I took notes about the book, and then I had to go back to the beginning and take the notes about the movie because chronologically they take place over the same time.
Yeah.
So
That's
that was
kind of
weird.
how book adaptations work.
Yep, that's how it works. So I got notes here from the movies scattered around in the books around the book.
Okay.
Those weren't words. Those weren't the correct words.
So the Toa Metru have collected all the Great Discs, and they're going to the Colosseum. They're thinking, hey, if we can show the whole city that we've collected these things, maybe they'll actually respect us. Well, that sure went well.
I like how the movie added. I like how the movie added some details that weren't in the original book to Matoran getting their rocks off. Lhikan told Whenua to not archive it because his first instinct would have been, well, this guy is going to probably put it in a museum because he's literally in one now.
Oh, right, during the giving of the Toa Stones bit.
Yeah, he's giving the Toa Stones, and he's all like, Whenua, don't archive it. Matau, don't break it, because Matau just got done dying. And then apparently Vakama has a miniature Borok in his mask making shop for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know if I think at one point Greg explained what those were, but I completely forget what his explanation was.
I believe they're called fire drones.
I think
they're the one Rahaga combo.
I swear to God, it looked more like a miniature Borok than anything else in this movie resembles any of the other toys.
Oh yeah, I remember what you're on about. I loved it. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's a cute little
It's
chicken
such a
robot.
good boy.
It's a cute little chicken robot. It looks like a fucking Borok for some reason. It's great.
Such a helpful little boy. I love him.
And
They just live under Vakama's desk. They're like the pebbles in Steven Universe.
And then in the montage where they're all collecting the frisbees, Nuju is excited to find his great disc in the most cartoonish of ways. Like he makes this cartoonish excitement face, and then hugs the ice. Like, I found you, my love. I am going to fuck the shit out of this frisbee.
Well, what about Vakama being like BDSM chained by the Morbuzak?
I completely forgot the Morbuzak was even in this movie for even just a few frames. That's good enough, I guess. And also, I never noticed, the great discs in this movie actually have the Kanoka designs on them. I don't think the other discs don't. I don't think the other discs do that, just them.
I also wanted to point out that Nokama puts her Toa Stone in the Kometru slot.
Oh, crap.
movie.
Ah, crap. Ah.
That always bugged me so much.
I didn't notice because white and blue are usually rendered very similar in things.
Are you saying that the animation team didn't talk to the story team very much?
Who would have thought?
All these years, I thought.
Rumor
Bionicle-
come out.
All these years, I thought that everyone talked to each other in Bionicle, and then I started actually paying attention because now that's sort of my job to pay attention to Bionicle. No, there didn't seem to be. There didn't seem to be coordination from different members of the same teams. So obviously, the story team, the animation team, the writing team, none of them had any coordination.
And then, of course, tying into the part where we're currently
Wasn't
left
the
off.
animation team, or like half the animation team was in Taiwan, right?
Yep, that's right.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was gonna say, getting to the point where we left off at in the book currently, where they've finally gotten to the Colosseum. I love how in the movie, all the main cast have models for the Metru Nui design, like Vakama, Nuju, Matau, etc. All the Matoran in the Colosseum just reuse the Mask of Light model, complete with their assortment of 4 whole masks.
It actually feels like whenever we see a crowd shot of Matoran cheering, it actually feels like they're just reusing clips from Mask of Light.
They might as well be.
Because I swear,
Sure they are.
like okay, so maybe having the triangular chest plate is some sort of sign is some sort of symbol of good authority.
It's a
or
symbol
whatever.
of being a main character.
It's a symbol of being a main character, basically, and also having a.
It's like watching anime. It's time to play Spot the main character.
It's like in The Simpsons, how God and Jesus are the only 5-fingered characters.
Yep. And also
I never noticed that.
And also these six Matoran are the only ones in the entire island who are wearing great versions of these 6 masks, because everyone else got noble versions.
All of the other Matoran are wearing like noble Raus, noble Rurus, noble Hunas, and then there's the main cast.
Yeah, so no wonder they don't know what the fuck they are when they're Toa. It's like, oh crap.
The only one that's even remotely ambiguous is Vakama.
Yeah, Vakama's mask's very. I want to
His
say
Matoran mask look is weird.
I want to say his mask is very well designed because it honestly could be a combination of the Great Mask and the Noble Mask. But I mean, it's supposed to look like one of them, and it looks like both of them. So that's probably a fail.
Yeah, I guess. But
I mean, he is the masky boy. Maybe he made some modifications.
Yeah.
I also want to just quickly touch on something from the last book, or rather the end of the last book. Like
this
the end of the
movie
movie, I guess. But like, point is, what Nuju had the scope attached to his mask by Vakama when he was a Matoran.
Yes.
It transformed with him when he became a Toa. Where did it go when he became a Turaga?
He didn't need it anymore.
Did it just fall off?
He didn't want it. He didn't need it anymore.
It even transformed with him when... Well, I'm not going to get into that yet.
More to the point, why when they transform do they immediately have those scarves around their necks?
What?
Why do they just transform with clothes?
oh, right, when they turn into Turaga and they have the cloaks.
At some point, I think maybe it might have probably. I'm just gonna say it probably Greg again, but at some point somebody said that when Matoran turned into Toa, they just look like whatever the fuck they feel like a Toa is supposed to look like, or that they would look like as a Toa. So Nuju kept the eye scope, even though it's not supposed to be part of his mask, because he thought that as a Toa he would have the eye scope, so therefore he does. And when he became a Turaga, he was like, I don't want to look at stuff anymore. And also, all of them had grown up, had lived in Metru Nui, and Dume wears robes, so they're all like, well, if we're going to turn into Turaga, I guess we'll have robes.
I guess that
No, I
makes
think
sense.
I've worked it out with the scope. I think he just, because he got old, he just went blind.
Yeah.
His eyesight's just failing him. He's old now.
The weird part to me stands out that Vakama apparently always imagined he would have huge fucking eyebrows as a Turaga.
I mean, TuragaNuva has some pretty big eyebrows himself.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So
speaking of Dume, though.
Mask, though.
So the movie, huh? Okay, so the Toa find their discs and they go into the Colosseum and they're like, "Hey, we found the discs that the legends say that only Toa can find. That means we're Toa, right?" And then Duma's all like, "No, Toa gotta prove himself with deeds, not with centuries old prophecies that we have."
Even though we just used them to defeat the city's biggest problem.
We have an entire
Just gonna brush over that.
We have an entire fucking district devoted to the creation of prophecies that we apparently do not care about now. And you know, clearly having the discs doesn't mean that you did the things necessary to get them that we knew about.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was a challenge that only Toa could provide. And also, hey, why the fuck didn't they even mention the Morbrzak? They didn't mention the Morbrzak during the Colosseum scene.
I guess they just forgot.
No, the real reason is because...
Araki forgot.
No, the real reason is because the Morbrzak was a filler arc, and they have no They had no reason to actually... Like, assuming the Morbrzak had even been written before the movie, because they might have been developed at the same time. The Morbrzak arc in the movie.
Might have been.
But, so they were all like, no. The only thing that happened previously was the Toa found the discs. That was it.
Yep.
Well, wasn't stuff the Morbrzak developed before the movie was released?
Well, the Flash game? Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
At any rate, the Morbrzak was a filler arc, and they decided not to mention that.
Yeah.
Speaking of that Colosseum scene, Dume has these giant screens all over the walls that display his face. How do those work?
It's so 1984, I love it.
What do you mean, how do they work?
It's protodermis, of course it just works.
I'm just wondering how they have giant projector screens, but they write on stone.
I made a joke about
They have shoots!
I made a joke about protodermis being vibranium and being basically the most versatile substance in the universe last episode. They can make whatever the fuck they want out of protodermis. They just don't have the imagination to have tablets, portable tablets, I guess.
No, that's the Agori, but we'll get to that eventually.
There is a tablet in this movie, but Greg says it's not canon. They don't have tablets, they just have widescreens.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the trees also pretty much kind of metal? Isn't everything in the Bionicle universe either stone or fire or metal?
At least in Metru Nui, everything is made of protodermis, it seems.
Yeah.
Alright.
Even the ocean is made out of protodermis. That's why it's called the Silver Sea.
Paper wouldn't be possible in Metru Nui because it's just tinfoil essentially.
Well, yeah, but it's paper. It's very paper-like tinfoil, so they can make paper out of it. But the point is, they don't have the imagination to make handheld tablets. They only have billboard screens.
Yeah, I've got more notes on those later, but we'll get to them.
Yeah. So, what exactly was the goal of the Sea of Protodermis scene? Just humiliate the Toa? What's up with that?
Yeah, pretty much just to show them up.
I don't know. It seemed like the whole sea was rising. What were they supposed? How were they supposed to cross it, and where? What was going on?
I think
first they need to get the Lhikan, but
I think so. Basically, Dume just wanted to humiliate them, and it's like, fuck. My plan doesn't account for new Toa.
In the movie, he has the bird thing following them the whole time, even during the Morbrzak.
Yeah.
So
Nevok. I didn't remember that Nevok looked more like a fucking vampire than a bird.
But yeah,
I gotta
it's possible he just knew that they hadn't.
I gotta pause. Nate, you gotta deal with your background noise. Good lord, you're gonna be creating a lot of editing for Curtis.
Wait, what background noise?
I'm not
You've
hearing
got
anything.
clanging and scraping and all that.
No, that's me. Sorry.
Oh, well, I hear a lot of scraping from
it's
Nate,
my dog.
too, so...
Like, I've literally locked myself in the car to try to avoid all sound.
Oof.
So, yeah. Problem with
You
living in
belong
Utah.
to us now.
It's my dog. She's eating. Sorry about that.
Alright.
Matau faceplants into stuff a lot.
Yeah, I
He
love it.
does.
But
he's real bad at this. He did faceplant into stuff immediately after failing at the protodermis.
But yeah,
not jumpy.
the bird thing is following the whole time in the movie. So I like to think in the Sea of Protodermis scene, he knew that they didn't know what their mask powers were yet. He knew they couldn't just fly over it or whatever. I think he just did it because he knew they wouldn't be able to deal with it, and everyone would just be like, well, what kind of fucking Toa doesn't know his mask?
Here's the thing I dislike about this movie, and this arc in general, that Greg decided to explain is like, oh, that they used up all their they used up all their elemental power while they were fighting Kraka. No, this movie should have focused on elemental powers. Mask of Light should have focused on the use of masks, because that totally wasn't the point of that entire 3-year arc.
Yeah, I was just thinking earlier, like, if you just watched the movies and didn't read the books or anything, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the TuragaNuva barely had mask powers at all.
Really?
Like, because they hardly use them.
Yeah.
And when they do, they never, like, mention it, really.
Like, doesn't Onoa only use his power, like, once, if that?
Probably.
Onua's mask
Like, I
powers.
swear, I don't think I've ever even read him use his mask power.
I like to imagine that the Mask of Strength is kind of a passive ability
Yeah.
of make everything you do strong.
Yeah, I guess that would
He
work.
goes to pat someone on the back and they just go flying.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. So now we get to the formal introduction of Cracker, because before now he's just been referred to as the hulking brute that hangs around Nadiki.
His
And
flight mode
well,
looks stupid as hell.
Yep. Well, now he has a name. He's Cracker.
He looks like
That's
the
that.
cat beast from 9, and his flight mode looks stupid as hell.
And he's-
His flight mode looks stupid. What about Nadiki?
He just folds up his legs.
Nadiki's,
All
I
four
loved
of
it.
them.
Let me just turn into a hoverbike for a second while I chase these robots.
Nadiki's at least kind of looks like he's aerodynamic. Like, Kreka just looks like a kid playing Transformers.
That's because he's a big boy. He doesn't think about
Why does he have
aerodynamics.
a flight mode if it looks so stupid?
Can you imagine Cracker flying towards you? Just this big, muscly man.
Okay, so
Well, you
Hovering
need
at
to
you.
draw that now.
I guess
Just
I
going,
draw
who
that.
dare me catch?
Basically something out of Cho and Nikki.
I guess the thought process is that if fucking Terry Crews is flying at you in a Choiniki pose, that you're not gonna think about how stupid it looks. You're gonna think, oh my god, there's a giant man! Ah!
Yeah. So
It's a real
so-
power move.
So after the Toa failed to cross the Sea of Protodermis, and everybody laughs at them, TuragaNuva basically says, hey, these guys, I say they're suspicious. Arrest them.
These guys are stupid. They must have killed the Toa.
These people are not competent, therefore they are more competent than our previous champion and must have murdered him.
That's flawless logic right there.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
that's-
much what they said. That's pretty much fucking Duma's logic, too.
Not to mention that nobody up till this point has thought to, like, look in the sky for this giant star that clearly shows he's still alive. They only think to do that, like, halfway through.
No, it makes sense. I'm an idiot and make tons of memes on Twitter, therefore I am a cold-blooded murderer.
Obviously.
No, every single one of you is no longer alive.
So,
Because
I
you're
enjoy Bionicle, therefore tacos are bad.
Yes.
So Dume orders the Matoran with the controls to turn the Sea of Protodermis into a freaking whirlpool. I'm not even gonna ask how that works.
That's a setting
Yeah.
that it has. No, this is like, it's like drone racers. It's literally, I was getting some serious drone racers, Legoland ride vibes.
It doesn't even work like a whirlpool. It like creates a whirlwind as well. It like sucks them in.
It's weird as crap.
It does the suck.
Yeah, they condense.
You need an
scene.
echo effect on that.
They condense this scene from the book a lot. All 6 of the Toa get away, and then the 3 Toa that get arrested a few scenes later in the book. But here they just get.
In the book, they do fail to get away. It's just while they're being escorted by the Vahki, they try to escape.
I could have sworn I read difference. Anyway, book.
So speaking of escaping, Vakama just decides to bring down a statue of his idol. That's not going to create a bad impression.
They definitely didn't kill him. They're just destroying all his monuments.
Arrest them!
Don't worry about it. It was Nokama's idea.
Yeah, she hates him. She clearly hates Lhikan.
Also, apparently in this movie, blue lives definitely do not matter.
What?
Just so many police robots killed.
Literally
Just
robots.
They're scrap metal.
They're not even capable of thought, just like real cops. At some point, Nidiki says, "I could smell Toa."
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I have it in my but obviously he couldn't find them because only 3 of them got arrested. So I have in my notes to make one of those jokes like someone's narrating stuff, someone says stuff, and then the narrator says the opposite.
There's another scene like that I'd like to mention near the end of the book, but we'll get to that when it comes.
Okay. Yeah.
I smell Toa. I could not.
I smell pennies.
I also could not.
Metru, Nokama, and Vakama, they decide to take the chutes as their method of escape.
Oh,
And
yeah,
apparently
they-
chute jumping is a lot harder than Metru made it look earlier, because you have to enter the chute at the precise right time, otherwise you just bounce off the outside.
Well, they were
Or smack into it and just sink in like Mateo.
they were diving into the chute from higher than normal.
Does that make a difference?
Apparently.
Okay.
And,
I mean, if you smack onto water from 30 feet, it's gonna feel like concrete, so...
True.
well,
Yeah.
this is
I do see the logic
this
there.
is magnetic water, so
You're magnetic water.
Magnetic metal water.
And
Magnetic
then,
metal water that can shatter, according to the comics.
So apparently the chute system can be So apparently the chute system just has an off button and a reverse switch. So Nidiki go find the person who does that and is like, make it stop, make it do the thing. And then the guys are like, no, if I make it do the thing, the whole city might explode.
Fun fact,
That's why we have a button for it.
Fun fact, that's Kongu.
Yep.
I loved that scene. I
Doesn't
just
look-
Wouldn't be
love that
bothered
they took...
giving him a Miru.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
I love that they just have a switch that, if you flick it, it could
Yeah.
destroy the entire chute system.
If they're so convinced that it'll just destroy half the city, why would you ever install that?
Yeah. So like the Toa
Yeah, this
probably.
giant big red button that will launch all the nukes.
So
We're gonna
the
give it to
Toa-
a bunch of little kids.
So here's the deal: if you know that they have a button like this, trying to escape the police by riding the chutes would be a bad idea. I'm convinced that they must have thought, no, we wouldn't have been stupid enough to have a blow up the engines button on a spaceship.
And if it's so easy, like you just press a button, why couldn't he just do it himself? The button was right there. Why did he need to dangle him upside down?
Okay, so the Toa are assuming that this machine doesn't exist. Nidiki and Krika are probably giving Metru Nui more credit. They're probably like, dude, reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. And the guys probably are like, dude, you just push a button. And Nidiki was probably like, what? It's that easy?
I've
What
got to
the fuck?
invert the warp nacelles.
Without getting into too many spoilers, Nidiki might have some insight into Metru technology.
No, I am convinced that literally Kongu is the only person who knew how easy it was to fuck up everything. Anyway, so the Toa traveled along the roller coasters hoping to escape the clutches of the track operator.
But then the roller coaster goes backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, but before we get to that, actually, there's a quick comic insert where we get some more story that wasn't in the movie.
Oh yeah, the potato rock.
Yeah, so this is a bit where apparently the Toa have been on the run for some hours, and Nokama's been hit with one of those staffs of loyalty to the Vahki. So she just pushes Vakama off a cliff.
Loyalty. That is Bordock, Metru.
Yes, and
8615. I said I was gonna make it short, and I made it short.
Cool.
I can tell you what all 9 of the Vahki do, and what their set numbers are.
Wait, 9?
9.
The fuck are you talking about?
There's
There are
9.
9?
No,
There
there's
is
not.
Yes,
I
there
thought
is.
there were only 8.
No, there's
8?
one. There's one that only exists in the guides.
The
Oh.
fuck are you? What?
There's 8.
Since when?
Okay.
I knew about the combiner models, but
Oh yeah, the combiner models, they count.
like, yeah,
Well,
that's
they
2 of them.
fucking don't.
yeah, they
The
do.
Crawley are not Vahki.
No, not the Crowley. The Kranu, the Kranu, and
The Kranu
Something
and
else?
the Kranu and the Krahu?
no, oh, maybe it's Krahu and Kranua.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And
I'll pull
Liam,
up,
Liam, I count
Those
the
count as Vahki?
Yes, and Liam, they're literally called elite, the specialized Vahki on the wiki. If you have a problem with that, take it out with Swordy Pants.
I don't think they ever show up in the story, but they are canon.
Yeah, the splitting gas the Krahu do not show up in the story. They only exist in one of the guides, so they are canon. They're just not relevant. They have 3 sets of powers, whereas the other Krahu Vahki only have 2.
Okay.
Or 1, I mean. But yeah, there's 9 of them, and I have a chart, and I derailed the podcast to tell you that I have a chart. You're welcome.
Okay.
When do you not derail the podcast?
So
Water
anyway,
breathing is finally acknowledged to be a useless, dumb power in a universe where 3 out of every 6 people can manipulate their ability to breathe.
where did that come from?
Some Mato is all like, I should use my mask power to defeat this dragony boy. Ah, fuck, what does my mask do? I hope it's not a useless dumb power like water breathing.
You're skipping way ahead here.
Probably. I don't have any context on my notes of where they happen, just that they do.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. But anyway, so for now, Nokama pushes Vakama off a cliff, or off a building, rather. And Vakama discovers that, oh, that disc launcher, it's also a jetpack. So he can just fly now. And he only flies in the comics, because they didn't write that into the movie.
They didn't know what a movie was.
Yep.
Didn't they show it in the animations? Like the set ad ones?
It was
Don't
I
think
swear.
so.
the fact that you could attach the disc launcher to his back was one of the toy gimmicks. So I imagine they would have had to show that in the.
I don't think they did.
I swear for like the Toa Metru ad, like right as they show like the final pose, he kind of like flies in, takes it off, holds it in his hand, and then they pose and shows the
Maybe.
6 Toa. Maybe.
Yeah, not sure.
I could just be bullshitting, but yeah.
So as they're trying to escape, the Vahki just destroy one of the chutes that they're heading towards. Just no regard for Matoran's safety whatsoever.
Yeah.
Then,
Imagine if you were so desperate to catch some criminals who would robbed a bank that you blew up a city street.
Yep, pretty much.
It's like they're getting away with that $50 they stole. Blow up by the way road.
Well, no, it's even worse than that. It's like blowing up the monorail that's above a city.
There are no monorails in Lego.
Well, yeah,
They don't have the rights.
you know.
What?
They don't have the rights.
The rights to what?
Monorails.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Are monorails copyrighted?
No, but the ones Lego used were.
What the fuck are
What?
you talking about? That's it. We're restarting the episode. Fuck
Gather
you.
friends, listen again to our legend of the Bionicle.
Again?
Friends, listen again to our legend of Josie being a stupid bitch.
Okay, I'll explain myself. Okay. Back in the 80s, when LEGO had those monorail sets, those parts were actually developed by an outside company that went out of business and held on to the rights to those parts, so that's why LEGO couldn't make monorail sets anymore after that.
Couldn't they just redesign the parts?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't.
Okay.
But yeah,
Anyway,
so
So
the reason-
Onoa and Wenua and Nuju have been captured by the Vahki and they're being escorted to prison. And so they decide to try and run away before that happens. But they end up getting captured anyway.
They literally just run into their cell.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, not pretty much. That's exactly what they do. They just run around in circles until they end up in their cell, and then the Rorzok slam the door on them, and that's that.
The Rorzok are the Onometru ones.
What's their special power?
Presents.
What?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Oh wait, that one
Is that the one that erases their memory?
No, that's the one that turns. That was the one that turns you into a camera.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, they never did. It says in the book something along the lines of like,
It says in
they
the
didn't
comic.
know which one of them was like
Yep.
the unwitting spy, but they never resolved that.
Yep, the
Oh, no, they
Onometru
did.
Vahki can turn you
Comic, I
into.
believe it's no comma.
Yep, they
No,
can.
no, it's Wenua.
They can
If
hit-
you go back a few pages, you can see him getting hit by the presence blast.
Yep, they can
Oh,
hit you.
right.
They hit you with the thing, and then they can just see and hear everything that you do.
It's
I
literally
see.
in a footnote telling you what page to look at.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, the comics. They did that thing that comics do sometimes, where they had a footnote
Okay.
that said, "Hey, if you look back to this part, you could see a thing happen."
Okay then, ignore me. I am the big dumb.
No,
Anyway.
you are the heart
so-
of Metru Nui, friend.
We're all the heart of Metru Nui.
No, you fool! The heart of Metru Nui is the Matoran.
Spoilers.
I'm
The
just
real
an
part of
old
Metru
guy.
Nui is the friends we made along the way.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, technically, yeah,
Like that one that betrayed them, so they left him in the bottom of the sea.
yeah. Well, they didn't actually know it was him.
Here. Oh,
Like
do they not
coincidence.
know that it's him, or...
They knew that they lost one of the Matoran. They couldn't be bothered to open up the pods and see which one they lost.
I
It
don't
just
think
so
they
just
checked
say
who was
something.
in the pods to begin with.
it just so happened to be that the one they lost was the asshole.
Can I just say something quickly?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Well, fine. Fine, I guess I just...
We didn't
Fuck
invite
you.
you on to talk. God.
Yeah. Who the fuck does a podcast to talk?
That is a good point.
We
Okay,
don't
everyone.
keep you around here to speak.
I think you need to tone down that
We
ego,
keep
mister.
you around here to suck dick. Wait, what?
Hell yeah.
Is that an offer?
Just say your thing, Nathan.
It's like, why don't they just tow a seal Akmu? Like, this would literally take like 5 minutes out of their day, and it would fix all their problems.
They didn't know they could.
They didn't know they could until the end. Vakama
No,
had
that they learned that they could as soon as they fought Kraka.
only Vakama paid attention. Only Vakama noticed that, and frankly, he didn't know that that was the thing he had to think
And
of.
also, between
like,
fighting Kraka and them losing Arkmu, they never actually, like, met him again after that.
Yeah,
He was just in the Matoran
right.
sphere, and they didn't even know it was him.
yeah.
'Cause,
I don't think
the
they-
Metru used the toa seal like 3 times in the story.
What?
Yeah. The Toa Metru used the Toa Seal 3 times in total.
Huh.
In the
I was
canon.
gonna say they can make it a 4th on Akmu and just leave him there.
What are the other? What are the other 2 times they used it?
Probably
When they
one.
freeze Makuta, and then the Kraka.
The
Makuta.
Kraka doesn't count.
I mean, it,
Well then, okay, then Pterodax, and let's just kind of say that it's 2.
Who's Pterodax?
What?
We're not there yet.
Makuti? Makuti the Bonkle Man?
Yeah. Well, I mean...
I'm Makuti, bionic man.
Moving on.
So getting back to Vakama, Nakama, and Matao, let's just call them Team Christmas Tree, alright?
What?
Because they're
Christmas
red, green, and blue.
Ah.
No.
I see.
Let's just call them Team Pixel.
Let's just
Yes.
Team. I was gonna say
Team
that.
Pixel,
I
yeah.
was gonna say that. You stole my joke. You poopy pants.
You
Can't
get
prove
fucked.
it was yours.
What?
So anyway, so they are they're still on the run, and they decide, hey, there's an airship. Let's just hide in there. I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong
And
here on the
nothing
airship.
does.
Absolutely nothing goes wrong whatsoever. Except, when they got ambushed by Vahki and then Nidiki and Cracker.
Yeah. Anyway,
By the way, I love this line where Nidiki is introducing himself and he says, "My friends would call me Nidiki, if I had any."
that's a Power Rangers ass. That's a Power Rangers ass fucking line there.
Yeah.
No, that's a fucking Fairly Odd Parents line. And this is where I keep my friends, if I had any.
You know what I just realized is the Power Rangers and Fairly
Jesse?
Odd Parents, they got
Josie,
similar
now's your
writings.
chance to shitpost.
They got similar writing styles. Fairly Odd Parents,
Josie's
Power Rangers.
only mode is shitpost. She doesn't know how to do anything else.
I literally have tried all my life to accomplish things. I'm only good at Twitter.
Help, guys, I can't stop shitposting. Help me. So Nakama's like, don't attack the Vahki. If you do, then we'll be outlaws. Nakama, you've already resisted arrest and attacked
I
Vahki
think
earlier.
that ship has sailed, Nokama.
Yeah,
I don't think
just a bit.
I don't think she's a very good teacher. She doesn't know how the law works.
Yep.
You've destroyed government property, assaulted police officers, and are suspected for murder of a government official. And you're concerned about attacking a single robot.
Yeah. Cops, blue lights don't matter. Kill all the cops.
So after trapping Nidiki under some rubble from the top of the airship, I guess, then they go away, and Vakama has one of those super spoilery future vision moments, where he
Yeah.
sees spiders. I wonder what that could mean.
His visions are real trippy.
Yeah. And then right at the end, he sees
Spiders.
Spiders,
You say?
Spiders.
Spiders.
Spadairs.
Isn't that Bar Magna?
Spiders.
So once he snaps out of that, though, oh dear, everybody's being attacked by this freaking underground dinosaur that wants to know the answer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does it ever resolve that?
Apparently, the answer that it's asking for, at least one character in later years theorizes it maybe it's asking why the fuck it's in Metru Nui. Because it's apparently not native to Metru Nui and has no idea how the fuck it got here. So that's why I made the Desmond the Moon Bear meme. Desmond the Tater Rock, tell me the answer or I'll crush this place to rubble. The end.
That's pretty much it. It just exists to smash
I am
stuff
the
up.
Torak. My riddles are delicious.
Yeah, just I forgot about this Dragony boy, and then I was reading the books and was reading the book and was like, oh man, what the fuck's he talking about? And I looked on the wiki, and then it said this, and I'm like, well, guess I'm watching Aston movie too.
I completely forgot that the Tatarak was here at all.
To be fair, it also doesn't know why it's here. And that's its whole. That's literally its whole deal, is that it doesn't know why it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tater Rock is the Rahi from the cover of one of the books about stuff.
Yeah, the Rahi Beast's guidebook, which I suppose we can get into that next time probably.
Yeah.
You can buy the actual model off of eBay for like $30, I think.
I recently found out that Rahi Beast is actually on BMP, but the copy that you guys have sucks.
Oof.
Liam.
Fuck you.
If you want, I can get you some scans. I have the book.
Hell yeah. Fuck it. Oh yeah, fuck it. I don't need it, BMP does. Cause theirs sucks, Liam.
Okay.
Liam, how dare you be the most valuable person in the fandom right now? Your scans of one book is bad.
Meanwhile, back in the movie.
Hell yeah, movie time.
So this is where we actually get into the bit of Kongu reversing the flow of the shoots.
Wait, we're not
So
there yet?
I guess the guys just got back into another shoot because that worked out so well last time. And now they're somewhere near Kometru because once Kongu reverses the flow and then they're spinning out of control and they grab onto the edge of the chute and sort of swing themselves out. Oh, they're in the snowland. And they try and swing like off of the chute.
And Matau crashes again.
Yep, and try and grab onto a nearby tower. Good job they sort of, ended up near a tower.
Yeah,
Otherwise they'd just be falling to their death.
That was some weird that they were doing.
Also, Matau apparently learns to fly in this scene, even though he flew in the comic directly previous to this.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's his mask power.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll find out later there's a Mask of Flight, but it's not this.
I
And
just
the
love
Mask of
the.
Flight is also not the Mask of Levitation.
It's also not that, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
love the
always
image
bothered
of
me.
Yeah, I love Matau. The image of Matau just smacked headfirst into TuragaNuva's face, just sliding down. It's if there's one thing I can praise the movie for, it's that. I love it.
I
slide down that face.
What the fuck?
Speaking of mask powers, though, actually, Levi, I want to know from you, what do you think Wenua's mask power is, based on what you've read and seen in the movie?
Oh god, which
Wenua is
one is
the
that?
dog. Wenua is
The black guy.
Black guy.
I know, but like I remember one goes invisible. One.
His mask turns glowy.
Oh right. I thought it was just the mask of X-ray vision, just like with a few add-ons. I thought it was just like because he sees.
Yeah,
That
the
was-
I'd forgive you for believing that.
Not the Ruru also has night vision.
Well, this is night vision, apparently.
So yeah,
Oh,
thi-
yeah.
this
Yeah,
is the
also-
mask of night vision, apparently,
This
and
is
it
the
lets
mask
him
of
see through
Tor.
walls.
And its primary function is that it glows real bright. But they all glow real bright.
It's not even night vision; it just glows.
And it doesn't even glow that bright because he complains about it.
It's the
He's
mask
like,
of
"Can you
Soda
make
Blind.
it glow any brighter?"
Yeah,
And he's like,
it just glows. No, I think that was just sarcasm because it was bright. Canonically,
Yeah,
it's bright. Canonically, it's brighter than it looked in the movie. Yes,
It's the Kanohi Mavoki.
it's
Oh
the
yeah, so getting back to Wenua and Onua and Nuju, they're in jail.
Yeah, and they apparently had been in jail for hours and not noticed that there's a fourth cellmate. And he's
Yep.
just there meditating, and then he makes a joke, and they're like, "What the fuck? We didn't notice you were there." And
Who are you, old man?
And then he says some cryptic crap, and they all think he's crazy. They all just think he's crazy. And then he starts telling them to play with fucking rocks and blindfolds, and then just go with it. Because I guess they're bored. Like, all right, crazy old man, we'll pin the tail on the ash bear and play with.
I just love their first interaction where they're like, "Who are you?" and he just turns around and says, "Who are you?"
Yep,
And apparently they trust him now.
Yep, this dude's. You know what? That's a good point, guy. We don't know who we are. Let's do everything this crazy old man says, Because, well, what else the fuck are we gonna do there? I honestly do think they're just bored, and that's why they're going with what this guy says. Because like they apparently do not see how what he's having them do could possibly be relevant to a mask power. I'm of the impression that they probably don't know that there are mask powers that are relevant to what this guy's asking them to do, because...
Well, to be fair, right, okay, Nuju's training makes sense. He's got to move rocks from one side of the room to the other. By the way, there's just a pile of rocks in this jail cell. Don't question it.
Yeah.
I already didn't.
Yeah, so he's got to move rocks. So that makes sense. It's training him to think about moving them in a different way, hence telekinesis. Whenua, his challenge is to walk around with a blindfold on. How does that train night vision if night vision is his real mask power?
Well, apparently it's just the mask of seeing stuff. So it's not the mask of night vision. It's the mask of seeing things.
Are we going to talk about the fact that Lhikan knows other mask powers, but Vakama, the mask maker, doesn't?
Yeah,
so stupid.
Lhikan is only ever seen wearing one mask that he's never seen using, and he might just have... It seems like he just has the Mask of Shielding as a symbolic thing, because it's apparently the symbol of the Great Spirit or whatever. But, like, Vakama, who makes all these masks and must know what all of them do, is all like, I don't know what the fuck my mask is.
Oh yeah, but by the way, okay, so I mentioned this last time about how Vakama doesn't know what the heck all these masks do despite him being the best mask maker in town. I actually asked Greg about this a while ago. Forgot to mention it last time. According to Greg, the official canon answer is they did actually know what their mask powers were, they just didn't know how to activate them.
But
that makes no sense.
It's what Greg said.
Well, Greg's full of shit. Greg is George Lucas.
Yeah, apparently you guys were talking about that. I didn't read it, though. Yeah, Greg, come on,
Lhikan
man.
is the answer to all of this.
Greg, if your answers make the canon worse, you're doing something wrong. I'm sorry.
No, I've actually met Greg in person, and there are so many more just bullshit questions I need answers to.
Just my idea is Vakama might have known all of the mask powers off the top of his head, just not what each of the masks did. It's like he didn't know what the masks his friends were wearing did, because they're all fairly unique designs. He's like, oh crap, Nuju ordered a really fancy mask, and it doesn't resemble any other actual mask, so I don't know what his does. I was just a pretentious dick with my mask, and I don't know what the fuck it is. It might be a Una, I don't know.
I like to think that Vakama did know what all the mask powers were, and he had trouble with his own, and everybody else just never asked him what theirs were.
I like that idea. I like the idea that Vakama did know what all of the masks were, and no one asked.
They're not able to use their masks by default, just as Matoran, are they?
No.
No, but Matoran cannot use mask
They
powers.
just really don't have a purpose for knowing, do they? I guess they just don't ask.
Well, Vakama knows the stuff because he's a mask maker, and presumably most Matoran have at least some mask powers memorized. And as we'll see in later years, apparently Matoran can infer what a mask power is by wearing it. A group of Matoran found a mask of telepathy, and wearing it gave them a headache because they could hear whispers of stuff, just not actively use the mask power for a beneficial purpose.
To answer your question more thoroughly about, like, can Matoran use mask powers? No. So the way it kind of works is a bit redundant. It's like there's 3 tiers of mask, and then there's also 3 tiers of people who can use them. So, in terms of the masks, there's powerless masks, that's the common ones. There's noble masks, which are the kind that Turaga usually wear, and then there's great masks, which Toa wear. And Toa can use great masks and noble masks. Turaga can use noble masks, and Matoran can't use any masks. So, yeah, that's how it works.
And apparently, if a Matoran is wearing a mask when they become a Toa, then it will become a great mask. and same will happen if they're wearing it and they become a Turaga. And
It will become a noble mask, yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what the deal was with the how that they gave to Jaller at the end of the movie. Did that become a powerless Matoran mask, or what?
I think it stayed noble and it just reshaped.
Okay, that makes sense.
One off-topic question, because I'm like interested now. So the Matoran all have these useless masks that just don't do anything. So I suppose it doesn't really matter which mask they get. So are the masks for them just like a fashion statement? Can they just choose which mask they want?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I made jokes about Vakama being a pretentious dick and making a unique design for his mask. That might be what happened.
It might be, actually.
Like the more professional the more higher ranked mask makers probably just make their own fancy shit.
Yeah, I mean, Matoran do still need to wear masks. They can't actively use the powers, but they do need to wear them, otherwise they fall unconscious.
Yeah, which is why at the movie Takua, fucking clearly Takua, got to the Vakama like, hey, I know we just woke up and we don't know literally anything, but for some reason we know that a Matoran's mask is broken and that's a bad thing. So Jaller just woke up and his mask is broken, so we gotta give him a new mask.
To be fair, if you suddenly woke up and saw someone without a face...
What the hell is that noise? Like, there's crashing sounds.
Yeah,
I don't care what you were saying.
It's my dog again, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, so apparently Jaller wore a Komau, the mask of mind control, at one point, and then didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for some reason, they just, go out of their way to hide Takua's legs until the group shot. Because do they just not want to show that that they didn't bother?
Josie, we're skipping ahead to the end of the movie again.
We were already talking about the end of the movie. Why are you mad at me for that?
Does anyone else think that the Calyx looks more like the noble...
We don't know. We keep telling you that these are things that haven't happened yet, and there's
What's
a person here who doesn't know what these things are.
What the fuck is a Calyx?
Sorry.
Anyway, while we're talking about Jaller, quick diversion.
Let's go back to talking about the part of the movie we were at before we skipped ahead.
Yeah, when Jaller was in Metru Nui, actually, he was a private detective.
Oh, that's actually cool. Why didn't we ever see him in?
But yeah, that's what he did.
He needs his own Detective Pikachu side story.
Hell yeah!
Yes, Detective Jaller.
Oh shit! Shit!
So,
what if Jaller can be voiced by Danny DeVito?
Ooh.
I like it.
That voice would definitely be a lot more fitting than what's his name.
It's already in the works, that's why Danny DeVito had to turn down the part for Detective Pikachu.
What the fuck is a Bionicle?
Hey, Takua, you know who you are. Always different.
I'm the Trash Matoran. Hello, I am Jaller, Matoran of Trash.
Pretty good for a Gamatoran.
Oh, look at me. I'm a McDonald's toy.
Alright, I'm posting a relevant meme to this conversation.
Oh my god, I just realized something. Jaller
That is
was...
a very relevant meme.
I just realized Jaller, his McDonald's toy was red and yellow.
Yeah.
Hello, I am Jaller, Toa of McDonald's. I am Matoran of McDonald's.
Wonder if they did that on purpose.
No.
Ronald McDonald needs to make a cameo.
Although I will point out that I think that aside.
McTavish.
Oh my god. Okay, so I was about to say the only mask that was ever made on purpose in yellow was Jaller's mask in a McDonald's set, which means yellow just is McDonald's color in Bionicle. But then I remembered that there is in fact another mask that was purposely made in yellow. The cow doesn't count. That was a thing. A Komau was made in yellow in the Monis set. I think there were two of them.
Yeah, it was.
Which means that both of the masks that Jaller wore as a Matoran have been printed in yellow.
But
Unfortunately,
not the one that he did wear on Metru Nui. That one was red.
Yep, that one was red for some reason, so they don't get credit for that neat coincidence.
Oh well. So yeah, getting back to the Toa Metru on the run.
Moving on.
Yeah. So Team Pixel are in Pokoro now, and or Pokemetru rather, and the whole place is deserted. I wonder why all the Matoran are gone, and what all these strange storage pods are.
Yeah, they already found the pods in the tank, and they didn't know what they were. And then Vakama had a vision, and he was like, "Oh shit! I left the stove on!" And then he opened the store, and then he opened the front door and saw that the stove wasn't on. It was like, "Sorry guys, I had a vision."
Yeah, okay. Vakama has a vision where he opens one of the storage pods and there's a Matoran inside.
Except
Then
when he
later-
doesn't, and it's actually TuragaNuva.
Yeah, but the thing is, for most of the rest of the movie, he's still like, I don't know what's in those pods. Like,
Well, yeah, because his visions are usually right, but this one was not right exactly at this moment. So he's like, "Well, I guess I can't trust that vision. Maybe I'm crazy."
Nadiki and Cracker are chasing them through the desert, and suddenly they are happened upon by a
Suddenly,
bioquake.
rhino kangaroos.
Kangosoroses.
So apparently, even though in English the word Earth refers to the dirt and not any
Yep.
specific planet, so we call quakes on Mars earthquakes.
Marsquakes.
Because the word Earth is not the name of the
Still
planet.
earthquake.
It's the name of what the planet is made of.
And they have the word Earth in their language because they have the
Guys,
element of
I'm
Earth.
sorry to interrupt, but I think I hear the Vahki coming again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's
We
on
know-
my end.
We know, Liam.
They must be coming to put us back to sleep.
Yeah.
It just adds more to the experience, guys.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to bed, mommy. I don't want to.
By the way, I love how but bio is not just referred to as bio is not just referring to Earth. It is also a unit of measurement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he says bioquake here, he's essentially saying meterquake.
Guys,
As an American, it's footquake.
Okay.
footquake.
As a sane person, it's
Stampede.
Meterquake.
Yeah. Fuck the imperial system.
Yeah.
Metric all the way. Metric for days.
You're American, you fucking piece of shit. Stop patronizing us.
I'm patronizing me. I hate America.
Well, then get out of here, you commie.
Immigration is hard.
Yeah, so they're being chased down by these Kangosoroses, aka Kikanalo, which, by the way, the Toa Lhikan set came with a Kikanalo. That's pretty cool.
Ironically,
Wasn't the...
Lhikan is the only Toa that doesn't ride the Kikanalo.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop you for a second, because, like, right at the
point out-
moment we're recording this, literally like 5 minutes ago, Faber has posted a 3.
Oh,
I think it's supposed to be a B.
I think it's both.
Okay, so everyone, for the listeners, we gotta reiterate this for emphasis. Faber has posted a new a 3 or a B, and there's a circle, and
This is news, everybody.
Well, in regards to
news.
his last tag post, which a lot of people could see because it was age restricted, I'm calling it right now. G3 is just vodka.
Well, he's also posted, like, the description for this is first came the mythology, then the struggle for survival in the Middle Ages, and thereafter the Age of Discovery when present meets future. Is 3 going to be when hindsight shifts to foresight, mind of machines, and then next to machines is referenced in the hashtag with the new Cryoshell album.
Okay, so
Okay, so it's just vodka and cryoshell then.
I just want to be absolutely clear here because you are kind of muffled, and I need to. You said that G3 is just vodka.
Yeah, just in regards to the previous tag post.
Oh yeah,
He was
because he
in.
did that vodka advert.
I like the
Yeah.
I like the idea of Bionicle G3 just being vodka.
Moving on.
It's a
Hey,
way for
hey,
us fans
so,
to drown our sorrows of G2.
So speaking of favor, did we skip over the meme?
What?
Which meme?
Did we skip over the scene that with the meme and the frisbees?
Which meme?
When Vakama is fiddling with the
He's
mask.
tripping.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did skip over that.
And yeah, he
So,
he mashes the frisbees together and is just baffled and surprised, even though this is what they do. Like all.
Yeah,
of
this
the,
is
all
a
of the,
normal thing.
all of the frisbees in the whole city can combine together and be reshaped into masks. But Vakama is like surprised as fuck. Like, holy shit! The fancy MacGuffin frisbees do the thing that frisbees normally do.
Yeah, you don't even have to shape them into masks. You can just combine frisbees into new frisbees with new powers.
Yep.
Like, remember those levitation discs that made the airships float? Levitation is not one of the standard powers. You have to get that by combining some other ones.
Yep, and in fact, all of the great discs can be combined together into a disc of time, and that's how it works.
Yep.
But and Vakama does acknowledge that the Kanoka disc is the mask. He's like, one of these Kanoka discs has to be the mask of time. That's
Or maybe it's all of them.
all of them. But I guess all of them would be one of them at that point. So
I guess so.
maybe he was right all along.
If he took a piece of each of the discs and just kept combining them, could he make like 7 masks of time? Like 7 tiny masks of time.
Like a ship,
Theoretically, yeah.
like a ship of Theseus thing. You could just add a protodermis to the discs to expand them, and then make. Oh fuck!
I just imagine he makes like 6 tiny masks of time and then puts them on rats.
So it's that one episode of JoJo.
The rat.
It's flea bitten or whatever he's called.
I ain't got to that part yet.
Is that in part 5?
Part 4.
Oh crap! I have seen part 4. Oh no!
It's the rat that melts people into cubes of meat.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh!
Hold on.
You mean the rat?
Hold
You mean the
on.
rat that there's 2 of them?
Yes.
Okay, that one.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
We're
I
talking
zoned
about.
out there for a second and then just heard rats
Okay,
melting
so
people into meat.
so there's a rat that can turn people into meat, and there's 2 of them
Where?
in JoJo.
In what?
JoJo.
Oh, that explains it. Never mind.
No, in
It
real
really
life.
does.
JoJo is weird.
I'm not a weeb. Sorry.
Yes, you are. We all weep together, friend.
No. No.
Okay,
Everyone's
and
a
then,
weeb,
and
they
then,
just
I'm
don't
just
know it
consented
yet.
to being on this show.
Nokama can talk with the animals, guys.
and Okama is all like, Vakama, your destiny no longer lies in sculpting masks. Okay, but these are the fancy MacGuffin frisbees. Clearly, maybe the ultimate MacGuffin mask might be a little bit helpful here. So, like, shut up, lady.
Yeah, Vakama could just say that instead of saying, no, I don't know what I am.
He has-
Toa, Matora, no.
He just has
Look, Spirit Star.
He just
Yeah.
has anxiety and wants people to think he's worthless.
I'd like to mention before we move on, there's a line I love here, because it describes how the Kikanalo go around smashing stuff up, and it just says, almost casually, a few of the beasts rammed the tower, sending it toppling over.
Yep.
I love like, just these Dragon Ball fucking rhinos
I love this
smashing
stupid scene
buildings
that's
with
only
a
in the-
single kick.
I love this stupid scene too. That's only a part of the book where they like all the Toa are like huddled inside one of the Matoran huts, and then the Kikanalo just crashes through the roof, and it's like thrashing around inside the hut. And Okama's like, "No, this is fine. Let's just stay here."
Yeah. So yeah, Nakama.
Like we're
her
gonna have
mask-
to do that meme with the dog in the burning house, except it's just Nokama with a Kikanalo thrashing around.
Josie,
Oh,
you know what
put
to
that
do.
on screen, future me.
What am I doing?
We'll tell you after.
Yeah. So yeah, Nakama discovers her mask power. She can talk to the animals.
Yeah, I like that. It was foreshadowed throughout the last book, she talked about translation a lot.
Yeah. I mean, translation is one of the things that she taught in schools, and now she has a mask that can just do it for her, I guess.
All of them except...
I didn't catch that.
All of them except Nuju have mask powers that are relevant to their personalities or character arcs.
Sorry, what? How is Vakama's? He just turns invisible.
He has anxiety, and that's all he wants. Like,
He's a shrinking violet.
He's constantly talking about how he wishes he could just be a Matoran and people would stop paying attention to him and just let him make masks.
I guess.
He just wants to stay in the basement playing with Lego all day. Don't we all?
And Windua's mask lets him see through stuff.
Okay, I mean...
That's relevant.
I mean,
so hang on, what about the one that's, like, telekinesis?
That one doesn't count.
How's that relevant?
I said it right there. It's like, I don't know how Nuju works. And
shape-shifting.
When it was is relevant because... When it was
not shape-shifting, illusion.
As will be seen...
Matau is absolutely the greatest illusionist.
In my opinion, the great versions of these masks are such a cop-out. Like, what the hell is what is the canonical difference between the Great Huna and the Noble Huna?
I think the Noble Huna can't make you totally invisible, it just sort of makes you, like, hard to see or something.
It still leaves a shadow.
Press X. The Great One still leaves a shadow.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Also, if it lets all light pass through you, thus making you invisible, how does it still cast a shadow?
Press X to doubt.
Matau has vanity issues, so shapeshifting is the... Yeah, that's what I give him.
Yeah. But like I said, it's not actually shapeshifting, it's illusion. He doesn't actually transform into the thing, he just makes people think he did.
He gives the illusion of being competent.
Literally, yes. If somebody is immune to Jedi mind tricks, then they can just see his true form.
See, I feel like they could have I feel like they could have easier explained it as he's not shape-shifting, he's still just creating an illusion, but the mask can extend to others around him, like the TuragaNuva, because clearly when he turned into Nadiki and Kreka, he transformed the Kikanala with him.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But when it was thing, I guess isn't really relevant to his character arc or his personality, but he can already see in the dark as an archivist who works underground. So now he has a thing that does it. And
Onewa is a very controlling guy, so mind control works.
He has huge control issues. Yeah.
Holy shit, I can actually read the Matoran's hieroglyphs.
Yeah, the Matoran cipher is very well designed. It can look like it can look indecipherable, but once you know, like, all the lines and circles are generally shaped.
I mean, it literally just looks like the letters that it's meant to represent.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
It's real good. I love it.
Yep, it's really
yeah, that's really cool.
This is exactly what I would design if I were Lego, and this was a cipher I made.
So I should point out, once again, that we're an hour and 15 minutes in, and we haven't even finished the first half of the book yet.
We're not? I thought the Kikanala was halfway through.
Not even close.
No.
I was promised more Frisbee tangents.
Actually, no, it's decently far in.
We've still got the entirety of Voyage of Fear to go through.
Well, yeah, but there's less than 100 pages.
Yeah, Voyage of Fear, that was like 30 pages.
There's a bit more than that.
You're 30 pages.
You're 30 pages!
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
Yeah, this is chapter 43, fuck.
Why are you buying soup at the soup store?
So
why are you buying soup?
Team Pixel ride those Kikanalos all the way to the prison, because the Kikanalos know where that is.
Well, yeah, they said they saw Bug Boy bringing a Tom Torin to a place.
And the other two take great pleasure in watching Matau get splattered against the desert floor.
Well, yeah, he's an arrogant asshole, and it's fun watching him fail constantly at
It's
everything.
described as the last time they laughed in a long time. Like,
Or I'm sorry, in the movie, I find it like weirdly painful to look at in the movie because he like gets tangled up in the Kikanalo's spinal cord.
Oh,
yeah, it's like the kangaroos. What did you say, Curtis? Rhino
Kangosaurus.
It's like the kangosaurus version of keel hauling.
Oh god.
Yeah.
well, they're robot people, so it's fine.
Yeah. So where are we now? Okay. We are at the bit where they basically mount an attack on the prison guards, and that goes pretty well. all
Cue
things
the
considered.
Benny Hill theme.
Yeah.
Because the Kikanalo are literally better heroes than the Toa.
Yes. Just get everyone a squad of Kikanalos, you're unstoppable. Also, Matao just figures out his mask power. Nothing
Yeah,
really
it
prompts him
just
to, he just does
happens.
it.
Anyway, so I actually found out that Nidiki does share a voice actor with one of the other Toa. Surprisingly,
Oh yeah, I forgot to look up voice actor trivia this time.
surprisingly not Matao. He has the same voice actor as Onawa.
Curtis, I
see
can't
that.
believe you're not on the ball.
God, I
Onawa,
forgot to look up voice actor trivia. Look, that's it, I'm going to IMDb right freaking now.
Onawa and
Oh, since we're doing voice actor shit right now, I hate Matao's voice.
I love
and when Wenua's voice, why is he just the dumb one? Why is he just like?
yeah.
Oh, hey guys, it's me. I live underground.
It's not that it's
big
so-
dumb one.
that voice has two personality traits associated with it: the big dumb guy and the big strong guy. And it just so happens that he is only one of those things. He works with heavy museum exhibits a lot, so that's why he sounds like a generic strongman.
I would have. Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I don't. I think the voice.
We're too British, Curtis. Just go.
Oh, by the
There
way.
are only 9 voice actors in this movie.
What?
What?
Oh.
Lhikan and Kreka share a same voice, like you just said, Nadiki and Wenua,
Onawa.
Onawa and Matao.
Wait,
That's pretty impressive. I
Wait,
didn't
what?
notice.
Onawa and Matao? Wait,
Yeah.
hold
Oh,
on.
yeah.
I gotta go back to find the voice actors. I could have sworn it was
Yeah,
Nidiki and
oh,
Onawa.
yeah.
Brian
So,
Drummond.
yeah. So, let's see. Ones that carry over from previous movies. Michael Dobson, he was, I think he was Kopaka in the last movie. He's Lhikan and Kreka in this one. Let's see, we got Tabitha St. Germain. Not sure she was in the
Oh
last one.
shit!
Yep. She's
Hello,
Nokama.
Rarity. I used to hate Tabitha St. Germain, like the characters she played, but now
I have no
she's-
idea. who
She's
she
so
plays.
extra.
I don't
She
know who
goes
she
the
is.
mile. She goes the extra mile, man. She just
I don't
everything
know
about her voice acting is fantastic.
Liam!
who she is.
Why are you such
Let's
a
see
dick,
if
Liam?
she's done anything you'd recognize, Liam.
She does a colourful horse, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah, she does a colourful horse. Let's see.
Don't we
what
all
else has she been?
do... Don't we all do colorful
She was
horses?
Mistake in Ninjago.
Oh.
Huh.
Don't we all do colorful horses?
Trevor Duvall, who voices Nuju, also plays Goomer in Net's family. If
He
Anyone
was
else
also
watches it?
Pohatu in the last movie, I believe.
Bill Burr is a good boy.
Behind the voice actors
he's
is
also he was also Alpha Q in Transformers Energon.
not... Okay, what the fuck? But behind the voice actors is telling me that Nidiki shares a voice actor with Onawa, Onawa shares a voice actor with Matao, and neither Onawa or Matao shall share a voice actor with Nidiki. What?
I'm just going by what IMDb says, which says Paul Dobson is Nidiki and Wenua, and Brian Drummond is Onawa and Matao.
I can't quite remember. Did they have different voice actors as Matoran when they were Toa?
No.
Nope, it's the same ones, just pitch shifted.
Yeah, so,
Right.
so Nidiki shares voice actor with Wenua, not Onawa, and Onawa shares voice actor with Matao.
Okay.
That's confusing.
Let's see. Alessandro Giuliani was Vakama, and what else has he been in?
Probably his wife.
He was Aaron Fox in Nexo Knights.
Did you catch my sex joke?
No.
You asked what else has he been in, and I said his wife.
Oh.
We're British, we're sexually repressed. We don't like to think about it.
He played a future version of Iron Man once.
Haven't we all been Iron Man?
I suppose so. Oh, he was the voice of L in one of Death Note's movies.
Oh right.
I think we've already established. There's a meme that every
he was L in the TV series too.
every voice actor in Bionicle was also in Death Note.
No, we established that every voice actor in Bionicle was also in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I mean both. It's the same voice group.
There are only like 6 voice actors in Hollywood.
Specifically in anime dubbing, there's only 6.
Yeah, which is how the
At least the western side of it, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, I love Matt Tao's voice.
Oh my goodness, he played Kid Icarus in Captain N the Game Master.
Oh God.
Oh.
Oh God.
Oh God. Oh God. I'm so sorry.
I think that's enough voice actor trivia. Should we get back to the book?
Let's never talk
Yeah,
about voice actors.
they kill a ton more police officers and
Kill
get
loads more
locked
police
into
officers.
a cave by their kanganosiruses.
Yep, blue
Yeah,
lies don't
just
matter.
block the tower in the cave. That's a great idea.
Yep. Blue lies don't matter. Middle finger emoji.
They also fool Nadiki and Cracker by telling them to go the other way, and then they have a big old argument about it.
Who left? Someone left.
Whomst?
Whoops.
What?
What
Craig?
are you talking about?
Oh, Craig. No, Craig, get back in here. Oh god, this is gonna mess everything up.
The first time.
Craig,
The first time
join.
Craig fucks up.
Craig, you're on watch now.
You're on report, buddy.
The first time Craig fucks up is the time when we were relying on Craig.
The one time we
It
need
hurt-
him.
It heard us talking about how robot lives don't matter and it just got offended.
No, robot lives matter, just not cop robots.
What if
Maybe
Craig
it
gets
is.
a cop on the side?
Craig, are you a
We're
cop?
being watched.
Craig, are you a cop? Legally, you have to tell me if you're a cop.
Hold on a second, guys. I need to mute my microphone.
That's just memes. That's just memes, though, because if legally you had to tell people when you're a cop, then what would be the point of undercover cops?
Nobody
To
asks.
feel cool. Yeah, nobody asked.
Yeah, drug dealers, they don't ask questions. It's their whole deal.
I mean, yeah, that kind of is.
Yep. If you just show up to work naked, wearing a clown wig, they don't ask.
I mean, they'd ask then, but...
No, they don't, because the answer might be, I'm a cop.
Actually, to be fair, if someone turned up butt naked in a clown wig, most dealers, that's their ideal customer.
Yeah.
I'm keeping that in the episode.
Hell yeah.
Hello, Johnny, you back for more?
So,
I hear penguins! That's right, Johnny. Penguins make
I'm
noises. You
Dr.
keep believing
Roxo,
that.
the rock and roll clown!
Right.
I do cocaine!
I do penguins!
this is what you come back to. So,
What do you think he needs that big red nose for?
In 6 weeks, we're going... In 6 weeks...
6 weeks.
In 6 weeks, we're going to get to the part where there's a penguin.
In 6 weeks, we're gonna get to the end of the book by this rate.
I didn't remember there were bionic
moving
penguins.
on. So, now we get to this bit that I completely forgot was here, which is that giant sandworm that's hanging around outside the
The
prison.
magnificent
Yeah, I forgot
sandworm.
about that too. I never heard about that before.
I forgot about
Yeah.
it too, and I am so happy because it's a bionicle worm,
It's cool.
and it's called Trawler. And you know what the gummy worms brand is called?
Joshy, no.
It's not called Joshi. Joshi's a bad
No,
man.
don't do this.
Oh no, I already
Sorry,
did.
not Joshy, Josie. Yeah.
I already did. I already did. I already did, friend, and I'm gonna get it now. I'm gonna get
Why
it.
are you like this?
Because, Liam, it's literally named 2 letters off from the brand of gummy worms. I couldn't not do it.
Josie, why are you like this?
I had to.
Why are you the way that you are?
Why, I hate the way that you are. Something, something, office quote. Something, something, gummy worms.
Toby, why are you the way that you are?
Trawlers, sour bright crawlers, Bionicles candy.
So yeah, the worm just straight up eats them. I mean, we find out later that Onoa was mind controlling it to just take them to the exit, but
Which is absolute hacks.
yes, mind control is broken.
Hacks.
And
I call hacks.
but yes,
Why
so,
couldn't they use the trawler to take them to Mordor?
I mean, yeah, well, why do they just leave it there? I mean, it could be useful outside of prison.
Because it has free will of its own, and it doesn't need no hobbits.
I was gonna make a joke about it, with these big sifting feeder animals, they tend to, like, if they're not eating constantly, they'll just starve. So I was gonna make a joke that they, like, just abandoned it because it died. Like, they'd taken it through the desert and it's just dead.
No.
Yep.
That's not even implausible.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a cop. It doesn't matter.
What the fuck, Josie?
Well, it is.
Worms
It's
have
their prison
cops
guard.
too, Liam.
Josie, you are on 7 lists at least by now.
I'll tell you how many lists I'm on. I'll check, actually. Hold on.
What?
So, while they're riding the Alaskan bullworm through the desert, we find out that, what a twist, Makuta was the bad guy all along.
Holy crap! I had no idea!
This actually, this scene was pretty cool for me, because they were like, I think it's the scene anyway, they're like, no, you were supposed to be a protector, how could you do this? Like,
That's later in the movie. When did they find this out? What?
Hey,
So,
I have a
yeah,
question.
this is just the part where Makuta reveals himself to us, the reader. He doesn't reveal himself to
right,
the
I
Titans.
see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
earlier in the story, he's talking... Dume is talking to Makuta, but then later in the story, it turns out he is Makuta.
This is always something that
Hold on, my phone's ringing.
Of course it is.
Apparently it's a missed call somehow.
Anyways, I was saying that this is the part of the story that always really confused me, because it was shown early on in the movie that TuragaNuva was talking to Makuta in the back of his house.
yeah.
Yep.
But supposedly in canon, he was already replaced by Makuta well before this point.
The way I think
So
of it
at
is...
what point is he just talking to himself
Yes.
in the mirror?
I like to think he just has a big ass mirror, a big ass trick mirror in his room that reflects him all cool and stuff, and he's like talking to himself, getting himself hyped and ready for the day. Like, you are Makuta. You are good at stuff. You can do
No,
it.
this is his secret room where he comes to talk to himself, because, like, no one else is
No one else
good
gets
enough
it.
for him.
No one
he
else
just
gets
comes
No one
here.
else can know of the plan.
Okay, Makuta, you're gonna get ready for the day. You're gonna go out there. You're gonna slave
You're
all
gonna
the
get
boys.
that mask of time made.
this is where he comes to hype himself up.
You're gonna enslave all the boys. You're gonna get that fancy mask from that guy.
You can do it. You feel great.
You can do it. You feel great. You want to go race cars? Bitchin'.
It is just so dumb. Like, there's no way Greg can explain that away, because even in the book, it implies that he was replaced at some point during current events. Not well prior.
I think that if
when the Great Barrier was sealed off.
I think that if Greg ever does answer this question, it will probably be similar to the jokes we've come up with now.
I'm almost certain someone has asked him and he's just said, yeah, Makuta talked to himself.
Yeah, that sounds like a Greg thing. But yeah, it's just he has a big trick mirror in his room that reflects his true self, and he talks to himself because he's the only one who understands himself. And
Nobody gets me. You don't understand,
and
Mom.
he's literally...
Now I'm just now
This
I'm
is
just
Harry Potter's
imagining.
parents.
Now I'm just imagining Makuta is literally Maleficent. Mirror, mirror on the wall.
True lies beyond the coast.
I mean, Maleficent's mirror wasn't her. She wasn't talking to herself the whole time. She was talking to a mysterious mask or whatever inside of a mirror. This is literally just Makuta waking up in the morning and being like, all right, buddy, you gotta go get your teeth done or whatever it is I do. What does he do?
But Makuta doesn't just talk to himself, he also talks to the whole city using those fancy kinetic displays again, telling them all to gather in the Colosseum. And yeah, at this point in the text, it explicitly refers to them as kinetic displays.
Yeah, hang on. I did.
What the hell
is
that?
No, there is actually such a thing. Hang on.
Yeah, I looked it up as well.
On the front of the Coke building, they've got this big thing that's like it like flips and shit. It's so cool.
Yeah, so
Wait,
there isn't
are you
any like.
talking about one of those billboards that's like made up of like a louver door?
No, it's like a 3D billboard. It's like, hang on, I'll show you.
Okay.
Is a
Yeah, there isn't any standard definition for
There you
what
go.
a kinetic display is. What we've got here,
The
let's have a
fuck
look.
is a Vimeo?
Vimeo is
Come on.
it's a video hosting site, and it's probably the closest thing to a YouTube competitor that exists, but obviously they don't have a very strong marketing because you didn't know about them.
Okay, I've never seen anything like this before.
yeah. This is what I figured the kinetic displays were like. It's really cool.
Okay.
That's way cooler than what I was thinking.
Okay.
What
What
I
the
thought
whoa,
it
what the
was
fuck?
like, it's like a normal. What I thought it was like a normal display, but the pixels, instead of being made of like light emitting diodes, they're just painted blocks that are moved around on the system of pulleys.
Yeah,
No, you know, like
if someone told me that there had to be televisions in Bionicle, this is definitely a Bionicle
I mean, this
television.
is almost literally what the Colosseum floor is.
yeah, that's
so-
what I was gonna say. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. It like reminds me of this.
No, that
right,
is
right.
exactly it. The entire Colosseum is this, and so including the TVs, and like this is definitely a Bionicle ass television. I love
It
it.
is.
I want that to be real.
It is.
I mean,
No,
like,
it is
kind
real. That is real.
That's the
I mean, yeah,
Coca-Cola
yeah.
building.
I know it's real, but like I mean in Bionicle. I want that to
Oh
be
I
right.
mean,
So the question now arises: which one of us is going to go to Times Square and hijack that sign to put TuragaNuva's face on it?
That would be
hold on.
fantastic.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Times
Hello,
Square.
Mr.
Can
President. I'd like to hijack Times Square, please. Yes, I'm going to do something stupid with it. Okay, thank you.
All
he
Americans have a
said-
direct line to the president.
Yeah, so he said no, but then I told him I was going to
You're
do
not
something
wrong.
stupid with it, and then he said, "Oh yeah, I'm all about stupid."
Topical.
Yeah. We elected the dumbest human being alive to be president of our country.
This won't date the podcast at all.
Oh no.
Moving on.
Oh no, Kanye West will be president next year.
Oh yeah, okay. Anyway, so this is the part where Lhikan reveals himself. And he's like, "Surprise, bitches, it was me the whole
I
time."
was the crazy person all along.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
So apparently in the
me,
book,
DM.
apparently in the book he was wearing an epic cloak or whatever, but they didn't know how the fuck that was supposed to work in the movie.
What
So
the
they,
fuck is a cloak? Here's a helmet.
Yeah, they gave him a helmet. Like they thought,
Where the hell did that come from, anyways?
We
Like,
can't-
clearly he was just thrown into prison while he was still a Toa, so he wouldn't have had access to this thing while he was in prison. He had to have transformed into a Turaga with the mindset of, oh, the other Toa are going to be captured by TuragaNuva. I have to hide my face from them when they ultimately become Toa, and I become a Turaga. What
Okay.
to do?
yeah, the cloak
Okay.
thing would have been so much better, but they just couldn't figure out how to make a cloak that was big enough to hide a mask.
Okay, headcanon time. We know that Lhikan is not actually native to Metru Nui. He was shipped in from another island.
Yeah.
What if, on his island, all the Turaga wear helmets? And that's just what he thought he should look like.
You know, I guess that works.
Another island?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We'll find out about it in literally the next book.
We'll get to
We'll
that.
find out about other islands in literally the next book. It's not too spoilers.
Nani?
We're not spoiling him sin too far. It's not like we're telling him that another group of Matoran become Toa.
I never would have guessed. And it's definitely not Harley.
Yeah, it's definitely not Holly,
No,
Jollar,
definitely
or
not.
anyone else that we've joked about becoming Toa at some point.
Nope. No one important will ever become a Toa
And
again.
Makuta's name will always be Makuta and not Terry Crews.
Nothing else.
Not Terry,
Nothing else at all.
Not Terry Crews.
Moving swiftly on.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, all the... Sorry.
What? So we're skipping over
always
it.
posted
We
in the
skipped
chat.
over another thing.
Fuck off.
Fuck that.
Just put that on screen. Don't even give it context. Just like
love
put
it.
it there so the people know why the hell we're laughing right now.
So we skipped over another thing. We skipped over another thing.
I can't
Chelsea?
stop.
Chelsea, you switch the names so that it says the Toa and Dume.
Okay, I need to not look at that. I'm going to continue laughing for the next half an hour.
Okay, but you guys, we skipped over another thing. There is an actual shit joke in Bionicle, and I didn't realize.
Oh.
There is.
This whole thing is a load of duty, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was actually a shit joke in Bionicle. Does that mean that they shit? Do the Toa shit?
Oh my god.
The Rahi shit.
Just like in Bionicle Heroes, where it's just gears.
The Rahi shit, so the Toa must shit, right?
Everybody poops.
Everybody poops.
I mean, not if they absorb their food, like, just absorb the energy, right?
But why wouldn't the Rahi also absorb energy?
Because they're dumb animals. They don't know how to do that.
The Kikalano are much smarter than Matau, at least. Does that mean that the Kikalano...
What do you keep calling them Kikalano?
How am I supposed to pronounce
They're not Jay
Kikalano.
Leno, Kikaleno.
Kikalano.
Kikanano.
Kikanalo.
Kikanalo. There we go.
Guys, I'm trying
Rhinoceros!
to put this in the chat, but I think this would probably be relevant to the shit, just in reverse.
I swear to God, if you're posting more, God damn it!
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
that's...
I'm sorry,
I'm
Odin.
not sure
you've
we can
just-
show that on screen.
Odin, you've just ruined the chat for me. I can't look at that now.
I'm gonna have to censor that.
Oh. So anyway, there's a shit joke in Bionicle and nothing is ever okay ever again.
So all the Toa are back together again, and they find Lhikan, and he says, "It's me," and then he's like, "Vakama, look, I'm assuming that you're the leader of this group because you're the red one. Do you have the heart of the city safe?" And he's like, "Oh, that's you, isn't it?" "No, you fucking dumbass, it's the
This
Matoran."
whole sequence has some of my favorite quotes in the story. It's like Nuju and Wenua are talking about what the plan is going forward, and they both say things that probably just completely tie up their character arcs. Wenua says, fuck, hold on, let me get my notes open. Sometimes you should. Sometimes you should. It was minimized, Liam.
Fuck you.
Sometimes you shouldn't look. Sometimes you shouldn't look back, only ahead. In the movie, it's almost better. He says, whatever's coming for us can't be worse than what's behind us." Wenua, the archivist, said that shit, and it's like he's finally started looking ahead.
I'm sorry, I love at this part when we're getting a bit ahead, but like there's a part that's just after this current part where Matau's just like, "Hey, Nokama, I see us taking a romantic ride."
Yeah, I was
drive."
going to mention the same thing.
And then Nokama just completely shoots him down. He's like, "And you think Vakama has odd visions?"
But again,
And then
again, love is real. Why? Why do they know what romance is?
Hell is real 2401?
And in the book, after Wenua delivers his line about the past being bad, Nuju says the future is bad. He says ahead's not so great either. Nuju, the future man.
But wait, now that the two are back together, they find Legasp TuragaNuva.
Yeah.
Oh no.
In the book, he doesn't have his mask when they find him in the Matoran pod, but here he does.
Yeah, he doesn't have his mask in the book because in the movie they have some, like, phobia of showing the faces of anyone or anything.
I think they just didn't have the models.
No, they do. They clearly have the models because, like, you can sort of make out the edges of it in some of the deleted scenes of Mask of Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not going to put effort in.
They have all of the details of naked Bionicle faces rendered. They just don't show them.
They'd have to click the backspace key at least 7 times.
So,
come on.
Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of like what the movie version having his mask because, like, Makuta, why couldn't you just make another copy of that mask in the book? Come on, man. It's like there's like a whole factory that makes masks. Like, you don't need to actually take the guy's mask and wear it. You can make another one that fits better, maybe. Because Makuta's, like, bigger than everyone else, so... Yeah.
I guess. But
So
Vahki!
Yes.
I've just... So you said earlier, if they lose their masks, they just go completely unconscious.
Yes.
Why did Makuta need to go to all the trouble of rounding them up into pods?
Because the pod... Okay, so there is actually an explanation for this. So the pods don't just send them unconscious, they also have, like, a memory wipe function in them. So Makuta's plan was to keep them in these pods for a long time, wipe all their memories, and then reawaken them and say, "Hi, I'm God."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, like, all the Matoran get knocked out, Metru Nui gets knocked out. I was just going to, like... I just think the Mask of Shadow's power is just to put people in a coma.
Kinda.
Actually, isn't one of the Rakshi powers sleep?
Well, yeah, but sleep and comas are different.
Yeah, but isn't
Not
the level
exactly,
7 version
no.
of that power comas?
Yeah.
Okay, sleep and putting
Then
someone to
wouldn't
sleep...
Makuta be level 8?
Putting someone to sleep and putting someone in a coma are literally two different things. Like, your brain doesn't get the benefits of being asleep while you're in a coma. That's why Makuta started. That's why Metru Nui is, like, dying or whatever.
So you wake up from a coma, like, 7 months after going into it, and you're just like, God, I need a nap.
Yeah. Yeah, when people come out of comas, they have their muscles are atrophied. They gotta go into rehab, physical therapy, all this other shit. And they gotta be hooked. You gotta hook people to machines because their body is literally not doing any of the things that it does while you're asleep. That's why bears can.
Nice.
That's why bears can hibernate for months, and why cicadas can hibernate for years. And people, when they do the equivalent of hibernating, they don't do so well because it's not hibernation; it's dying.
Okay.
Yay.
And this has been biology with Bionicles.
Yes. So the Toa and Turaga are trying to get out of there, wherever they are, and there's Vahki on their tail. So they decide to head into a nearby closet, and oh, what a surprise! There's a Vahki transport in here, and also a bunch of Lorak, which weren't in the movie.
What?
Yeah, there's concept art for them, but they didn't exist in the movie.
Yeah, they're like serpent guys or whatever.
But really freaking deadly flying serpents.
Yeah. Do you guys know what the original script for the Lorak is going to be in Legends of Metru Nui?
Purple?
No.
So it actually explains it. So it actually whips Lhikan out of the ship and is supposed to kill him that way.
Oh.
It's supposed to
Well, that would have
drown him,
been
but that was-
anticlimactic.
That's too dark.
I like where he died in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like that he died. I like where he died.
I guess Death by
Spoilers.
Shadow Hand is a bit more dramatic.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we're not there
We're
yet.
getting to it.
We're getting to it.
When? We're like an hour and a half in.
Liam, our last episode was 3 hours long. Shut up.
It was.
Well, whose fault is that?
Mine. I'm not saying it's not. It's totally my
So to-
fault. It's just you're being.
So to get out of the closet, Wenua stands on the front of the Vahki transport and just holds the drills in front of him.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that we're actually reading this book now because the meme. That instruction page that shows off Wenua's gimmick started becoming a meme. Just as I literally just read that chapter. I literally just read it and someone was like, "Why does Wenua even do this? This is a weird ass gimmick." And I'm all like, "Oh, they mounted him to the front of a tank and used him as a front mounted drill to escape some police."
My drill is the
Some
drill
fucking-
that will pierce this solid stone wall.
It's some Team Rocket bullshit right there.
Yeah, so that is why Wenua lies on
Lenua.
that is why he lies on his stomach with his drills held above his head, just like the most ridiculous thing ever, because they mounted him to the front of a tank and used him as a drill.
Yep. So they eventually escape to the surface, and, oh no, Nadiki and Krekker are still about, and they attack him. For some reason, Vakama now knows Krekker's name, and refers to him by name. I don't think he ever got formally introduced, but okay. So at some point, Lhikan is saying to Vakama, you need to stop the darkness. And Vakama's like, but sunset isn't for like another hour or so. Vakama, you freaking idiot, that's not what he meant.
I must have zoned out and forgotten that happened, because that is the stupidest dialogue I can possibly think of.
Oh yeah, also he doesn't actually call it sunset, he calls it sun's fall,
So,
because there's two suns.
Okay, Vakama talking about the fucking sunset in relation to the fucking end of the world is like
Yeah.
it's like there's a scene in one of the earlier episodes of the English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh where out of nowhere Tristan says, "In another few hours the sun will be up."
Yeah, it's literally just like that. It's like, Vakama, the apocalypse is going on around you. What do you think stop the darkness means?
In another few hours the sun will be up.
So,
Do you have the heart of Metru Nui? In another few hours the sun will be up. Vakama, you're not a mask maker anymore.
So,
Stop making the MacGuffin. In another few hours, the sun will be up.
oh jeez, I'm back.
Hi,
What
Curtis.
the fuck happened?
The United Kingdom.
My internet cut out.
Yeah, see, I was right. The United Kingdom exploded. The Queen of England died, and the Wi-Fi stopped.
Curtis,
Yeah,
you are gonna
I
have some
stopped.
You are gonna have some interesting audio to sift through after this.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your
Yeah.
work cut out for you as far as editing is concerned. What with everyone's
Nobody say why Elon
ridiculous
Musk is in the
fucking
chat.
background noise.
Yeah. No one said.
So,
nobody say why Elon Musk is in the chat.
Okay.
Devin chat.
Devin.
So did you guys actually talk about Bionicle while I was gone?
No,
or-
we did everything.
Good God, no.
I did my best Josie impression and tried to keep people from talking about Bionicle while you were gone.
Okay. So, I suppose where we left off then was the bit where Onewa mind controls Krekker, because he's so stupid.
Yeah.
No, we left off at the fucking low rock.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
jeez.
we
I kept talking for a while
And
then.
then we resolved that.
Good God.
And then we resolved that plot point, and now we're on the fun part.
Curtis, how did you manage to go more than 5 seconds without realizing Josie wasn't talking?
No, we definitely got way past the low rock.
We did not.
No,
Yes, we did. We talked about sunset and
we mentioned the Wenua meme with the tank.
Yeah.
And then they got out, and then Curtis died, and then I ordered a new one from 911.
Well, we definitely didn't get past the reveal.
What reveal?
Which reveal?
Makuta.
Oh, right.
We got way past the Makuta reveal. What are you on about?
Yeah, we definitely got past that.
We didn't get past the point where they got to the Colosseum.
No, not where they got to the Colosseum. The bit where Makuta reveals himself to the reader. We got past that part.
Okay, let's just throw...
Ottawa doesn't mind control Kreka until after that.
Let's just throw convention out the window and start back over to where the tank happened and the drilling.
Okay, moving on. Makuta is fighting them on a boat.
No, we're not there yet.
That's too power.
No, okay, so they're in the Vahki transport.
We're in a desert where the bunch of gladiators. Oh wait, fuck! Go back.
So they are on the Vahki transport. They've just escaped the underground. Let's go back to there, okay?
Okay.
And they get attacked by Nidiki and Cracker. And apparently Vakama knows Cracker's name, even though they've never been introduced, really, to each other. Thought that was a bit weird.
I interpreted that the Matoran, who knew where the Great Discs were, who aren't in this movie at all, at some point must have told them who Nidiki's boyfriend was.
I guess so. They did. At least Arkmoon knew Nidiki, so it's reasonable to assume he might have known Cracker at the same time.
They were all scared of him, so they didn't talk about him a lot. But at least one of them, probably Arkmoon, like you're saying, probably knows about the guy. He's all like, yeah, they're in a wonderful relationship, and I love them, but they're terrifying, and I don't want them to kill me. So. Bye.
Okay, for the sake of brevity, from now on, can we just put plot holes down to Greg stuff? Please.
Yeah, probably.
We're going to plot all over your plot with your plot.
So then they get to the Colosseum. Here we go. And Makuta's like, "Hey guys, surprise! It's me. I'm not actually the Turaga. I'm the incarnation of evil."
And Lhikan is all like, "Makuta, you were sworn to protect that Matoran."
And
I'm all like, what?
Like, we'll find out way down the line that Makuta at one point did serve the Matoran.
No, la 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 la.
I mean, it's literally in this book. He says it. In the movie book. He says it, and it makes no sense. It made no fucking sense at the time.
It still doesn't make much sense in hindsight,
no.
But, you know.
Like, why the fuck does Lhikan like Makuta do the
So yeah, Makuta's just like, yes, but I'll serve you better as a god.
Yes. I'll put all these Matoran to sleep and awaken them as their master.
Great, yeah. Fuck.
Because my brother got all the love from mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put my brother to sleep because all the babies loved him.
Yeah. In case it wasn't made clear by the book, which I'm not sure it really was, but this is the moment where Metru Nui falls asleep. Like, this is what will become known as the Great Cataclysm.
Thank you.
And, yeah, so Makuta, he starts absorbing energy from lightning, which is around, I guess.
It's such Frankenstein shit.
Okay.
Why would he...
Okay,
why would lightning make him so powerful?
Alright, so he absorbs energy from the power
because
plants.
he's a villain, that's what they do.
He absorbs energy from the power plants, I guess, and he absorbs lightning from the sky because there's a Rakshi of weather control, and he has all the Rakshi powers, so he just makes lightning happen, and the lightning...
It just turns out one good zap from a lightning bolt will kill Metru Nui.
Yeah.
Wait, so hang on. He expends power to make lightning and then absorbs the lightning.
Well, no.
Isn't that just a net loss?
No. Lightning is a chemical reaction. He causes the weather to become lightning, and then the lightning is more power than he's putting into it.
Lightning is no such thing.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more of a net loss.
Wait.
Because you're spending more energy to make unrelated weather to happen than you are to absorb from the lightning, which is only one part of the weather system you just created.
My science teacher was
Inferior.
She was she basically wrote off that year. Was like, well, I've done a good job teaching my students for 2 years. Fuck it.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about physics, I guess.
Yeah, so after Makuta absorbs all this lightning, he just turns into a massive freaking vortex. And the Toa are like, okay, run away. Whenever, look into the ground and see where all the Matoran pods are. Okay,
And then he looks
I'll do that.
And then he looks into the ground and sees that they're everywhere.
Yep. Let's find a way underground, guys. And that they do.
Instead of just drilling into it,
And then
for some
Instead of
reason.
just drilling into it.
And then
yeah.
Makuta eats his pet bird.
Yes, yeah, Makuta straight up vores Nidiki and Kreka and Nivok.
Yep. Straight up vores them.
Okay. Oh yeah, and so at this point the Toa have got another Vahki transport, or is it the same one? I think it might just be a
It's
new
the same
one.
one.
It's the same
Oh,
one.
okay, it's the same one. And they've strapped exactly 6 Matoran pods to it, because 6 is the magic number, and I guess they can't fit any more on the ship.
Even though they were on one of these exact vehicles earlier, and it clearly had more than one.
Oh, no, not even that. According to the book, supposedly this one is bigger than the one they were on before.
Yeah, but it's probably not designed to hold all 6 to hold more than 6.
Maybe they can't fit them through the door.
Worth noting, though, that the one they were on before, at least in the movie, had 2 trailers on it. So
Yeah.
They didn't steal. They didn't steal trailers. They only stole one. They only stole the cab.
that's my.
I like to think that
Thank
on-
you for stating the obvious.
In
I
another
like to
few
think
hours, the
that
sun
the new
will be
one
up.
that they. I like to think that the new one that they stole, they can't fit the pods through the door, so they just have to strap them to the outside.
Yep.
No, I love how later on in the book we find out that they didn't just try to put them inside. They didn't strap them to the outside. No, they strapped them specifically to the bottom.
To the bottom.
To use them as a flotation device.
I mean,
Matoran don't need oxygen, they're in a coma.
well, see, the spheres, the spheres are airtight for some reason, so they have oxygen. They have plenty of oxygen, and that's what makes
in
them
an
buoyant.
airtight sphere.
And that's what makes them buoyant.
Yeah, I guess the Matoran aren't just gonna use up all that oxygen.
Yeah, they're sleeping. You don't use a lot of oxygen when you're sleeping. And it probably had, they got.
You don't breathe while you're sleeping.
Josie, what the hell is wrong
They
with you?
probably got some mechanism that converts oxygen into more oxygen.
Sure,
Great,
okay.
they've broken
Sure,
they've broken the
okay.
law of thermodynamics. Fantastic.
It's protodermis, it can do it at once.
Yeah. How the fuck do spheres even work? Who invented circles?
Look, you combine 2 oxygen disks and it makes a super oxygen disk.
Aha! No Man's Sky.
So they've turned this crawling insect car into a boat, and they're and Vakama just says,
They turned this crawling insect car into a boat using their comatose friends.
Yeah, it's
Transportation
a
devices.
it's a crawling insect car converted into a boat by the power of babies.
and nobody actually knows.
Nobody actually knows.
Nobody actually knows where they're going at this point, so Vakama just says, head to the Great Barrier. That seems like a good idea.
Yeah,
Into the
just
Great
Drive
Barrier,
us
that
in-
thing
just
that's...
drive us into the wall, Matto.
Drive us into the wall that Dume had sealed shut. There must be a hole in there somewhere because he's clearly not good at his job.
And Makuta's like, lol, no, I'm not gonna let you do that.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna make pillars of water.
Yeah, so Metru Nui is apparently contained in a big old fishbowl, and originally the fishbowl had doors in it, and Makuta apparently had the doors all shut, but the Toa just assumed that there's probably one that he missed.
Well, no, we find out later on in the book that basically it's essentially like... Well, I guess we can infer later on in the book that it's just a cave that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a natural fishbowl hole.
Well, as natural as anything can get in this world.
As natural as anything can get in a giant fishbowl.
And yeah, so the Toa are like, right, well, if we're gonna get out of here, we need to deal with Makuta first. And Vakama, in his infinite wisdom, says, "Hey Nuju, throw me up there. Never mind the fact that I've got a jetpack."
Well, yeah, because they can't animate a jetpack firing.
Obviously.
Who spent the budget on Makuta?
No, Makuta's a
Makuta and his gross wings.
Makuta's a reused model on this, and the wings don't even match.
No, I think they literally copy-pasted the wings off of the Nivork model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, they spent absolutely
Actually,
no...
if I can interrupt here,
Yes?
the Nivok wings from the actual set do fit onto the pins on the very back of the Makuta set.
Fun!
That is true. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I learned this back in December.
Neat.
Fun! I've never
It's actually pretty cool.
I've never seen that. Somebody please post it on the Twitter.
I imagine they'd be way too big, considering that Nivok is like twice the size of the Makuta set.
Liam, did you not watch Spider-Man Homecoming? No one cares.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, Levi, you may have seen Makuta in the movie. This is what he looks like in set form.
Oh, is he a crusty boy still?
No.
He has teeth.
For what?
Oh yeah, the ultimate Dume set.
For whatever reason, like they're
That was shown off in the comic part of the book where
Okay.
Vakama had a vision.
So for whatever
Yeah,
reason,
and it's the ugliest looking set we ever got.
like
Why has he got knife
spindly little
wings?
legs.
why, if they were just going to have him look like he did in Mask of Light with wings, why would they not? Like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we just happened to distribute parts from his original set in Nidhi, Kraka, Nivok, and all of them, so that you could actually build something that looked like his 2003 set, but with wings? No,
I love how they made the shadow hand his actual physical right hand.
Yeah, I never noticed that, but now I do, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay. Oh,
I don't know if this is just headcanon or something, but I did, during this scene, I kind of figured out, I don't think Makuta is actually a shapeshifter. You know when he, like, sucks all those things in, and then he just reappears in the next scene with, like, all these parts from different... I don't think he's a shapeshifter. I think he just uses the parts from whatever he sucks in. So everything he turns into is something he's eaten.
Yeah, so he's not...
he ate like 25 Matoran at some point, and that's how he did the thing in Mnog.
Yep, so he's not really a shapeshifter as we come to understand it. He's really just an anthropomorphic Lego set.
He's a Lego
Oh my
boy.
god, I guess that makes it, that's a good point too. Since the Shadow Toa are a thing, that means that the vortex from Mnog is literally just the corpses of all the Toa he killed in previous years,
What if the
just
vortex-
flying around his lair.
What if the Vortex is Koden in the missing Toa team?
Oh god.
Oh no! That's probably actually the thing.
Yeah, that's probably what
my
it is.
God.
But
So he just has a cyclone of corpses in his lair. That's actually metal as fuck.
no, he
Okay,
is
hold on,
the
I'm
cyclone
actually
of
on
corpses,
my list of
apparently.
band names I've come up with.
Cyclone of corpses.
Not only does he have a cyclone of corpses in his lair, he is the cyclone of corpses, because that's his run.
Here we go.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, so another thing, you could buy...
It's like Megadeth's Tornado of Souls.
You could buy the larger combiners as their own sets, and they would come with exclusive pieces. Ultimate Dume came with an exclusive movie edition Kraken, as it was called.
No, that came with TuragaNuva. This came with a completely different Krokon model.
None of these exclusive Krakens actually looked like what the Kraken looks like in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, no, the movie edition Krokon from TuragaNuva looked similar enough to
No,
it.
have you not seen the one on
If you-
Shapeways?
I've seen the one on Shapeways. What I'm saying is, if you flip
if you're
it,
really,
the gimmick,
really tired
the gimmick,
and super stoned, yeah, it kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
the gimmick of the Krokon is that it's like it looks different depending on how you shape the head.
Yeah.
how you orient the head, and it's clearly meant to be seen facing forwards rather than how the set has it. Now, if you cut off the top bit of this version of the Crocon, it does look close enough to what you would imagine the movie one would look like as a set.
At least until
Yeah, well, if you cut off the top and the bottom, I guess.
At least until Shapeways came along and showed us what it would actually look like if Lego's story department and toy department had actually talked.
Yeah. So anyway, Vakama is facing off against Makuta, and Makuta's like, "Come on, Vakama, join me and my brothers, and we can rule the galaxy as father and son."
Vakama doesn't even
brothers.
Vakama doesn't even question that.
brothers.
Vakama doesn't even question it. Like, oh, what? There's more than one Makuta? I'll think about that later. And then
I wonder what that could
and then he
mean.
just pulls out the Mask of Time, and Makuta's all like,
Yep.
come on, boy, come on. Choo, choo. Choo, choo. Bring me
Ah, yes, the Mask of Time. Good, Vakama. Now just hand it over.
And then Makuta, and then
No.
and then Vakama's all like, "Bitch, I got the most powerful thing in the universe. I'm gonna put it on my face."
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
But Vakama's real bad at using it, so all he can do is slow down time for both Makuta and himself,
Now,
effectively cancelling it out.
This is a point. This is a point where my only note for this entire reading session comes into play.
Yep.
As of this very moment, Vakama doesn't know how to use his own mask yet. How is he using the Vahki?
The most powerful and difficult to use mask of all
I
time.
like to think that the legendary masks, when they like tell the user how to use them.
I kind of think it's like he can. It just has its own power.
Yeah.
Like, he uses it, and it uses him as a conduit. You can kind of control it and shape the power how you want.
The lore behind the
it's
Mask
just
of
there.
The lore behind the Mask of Time, as seen in later years, is much more complicated, and it's perfectly reasonable to assume that if you have the Mask of Time, you know how to use it. It just does.
Okay.
It just does it.
It just does it.
Guys, we still have 11 more chapters to discuss in this podcast.
So it's been 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, 5, 6, 7... It's been a lot of weeks, and I can finally tell you about my headcanon as to why TuragaNuva and Vakama have all these weird, stupid visions. It's because the Mask of Time is the Mask of Time, and when you wear the Mask of Time at any point in time, you're basically always wearing it, because it's the Mask of Time. You have always worn it at one point, therefore you're just going to have visions of the past and the future all throughout your life for the rest of existence.
You know what? I was gonna say that sounds stupid, but given some of the mask powers we'll get into later, that's actually fairly reasonable.
Yeah, you put time on your face, and now time's always a part of you. Yep. Yep.
I guess so.
Everyone seems to think that Mask of Time, being able to just slow down time, is good enough. That gives you time to think about plans. So I guess that works.
Except in Vakama's case, where he slows down his own brain and can't think fast enough.
He doesn't have a plan, so Lhikan has to step in and be cool for one last thing.
By the
And
way,
then
how did Lhikan get up on the cliff?
My better question is, how exactly, it was stated in the book that he got hit by a shadow bolt, and that's what killed him. In the book, Makuta takes his shield, smashes his shield, and somehow that kills him.
In the movie, you mean?
In the book, yeah, or the movie, yeah.
Stop saying the book!
You're the book!
I am book.
So, yeah, the way it works in the movie is basically Lego's non-violence policy. That's how it works.
Damn you, 9/11!
No, you know what I want to say? You know what I see this scene as? I see this scene as okay, we kind of copped out in Mask of Light with a death not meaning anything, so now it's time for a do-over. This time he's really dead.
Yep.
So
he's really actually dead and always will be.
As far as we
There's a
know...
fight, Lhikan gets Kurt Cobain's Vakama's sad. They defeat Makuta. They name their new Vahki transport after him.
Yep.
And that's the next... And that's the rest of the chapter.
Quick aside before we get to that. During Lhikan's death scene, in the movie, I kind of prefer the way they did it in the movie, Makuta is distracted by the Mask of Time falling off the edge of the cliff, and so he goes down to try and get it, which he ultimately doesn't, but whatever. In the book, Makuta's just standing there. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He's a villain. He's got to relish in the pain of his victims.
Despite how often he keeps getting his ass kicked, he always thinks, "Oh, I'll just let these people think about how they're about to die. That clearly won't give them enough time to come up with a plan."
He's the kind of classic villain who will let his victims go into a cave with a dangerous monster and just be like, "Yeah, beat it and you can go."
Yeah.
Play lacrosse with me, and
Yeah.
He's just a pretty shit villain, to be honest.
Well.
He's not that clever.
I mean,
About that.
After Lhikan dies, Vakama finds his mask power and basically uses it to defeat Makuta.
Yeah, pretty much.
Invisibility defeats Makuta.
Yeah, I love that his game plan is just to have Makuta smash himself with rocks, and Makuta keeps doing it.
And it fucking works because Makuta's an idiot, apparently.
He
He's a
just
freaking video game boss, that's what he is.
Oh,
he is.
Bowser in Mario 64.
So I have in my notes here to mention. So Mask of Light gets compared to Lord of the Rings a lot. Did you know that the One Ring does have a power other than it makes people want it? You want to know what that power is?
Yeah.
It turns people invisible. So basically, the two masks Vakama wears in this movie are a MacGuffin that everyone wants, and one that makes him invisible. That's something. Bionicles is Lord of the Rings.
He's a hobbit.
Well, he becomes a hobbit later.
So anyway, they defeat Makuta. They seal him in one of them Toa seals. I'm sure he will stay in that forever, except we know he doesn't because he's alive and well during the time of the Toa Matter.
I like that Makuta gets glued to a wall like the DC Comics source wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and
apparently we missed. I had a note about the Vahki make dial-up noises when they fall off a cliff halfway through the movie.
They do.
Yeah, they make dial-up noises.
That's great.
And that is my last of the notes. That isn't about what's happening now.
Amazing.
Okie dokie. Right. So, now we switch narrators, and now it's Nokama telling the story, which basically means nothing.
Because Vakama, Vakama in the present, who's like,
He's a big old pussy bitch.
All right,
He's off being old.
all right, that's the end of my story.
Give
That's
a break.
the end of my story. I'm gonna take a vacation. Bye. And then Vakama's all like, actually, there's more. So we found a crazy guy and we killed him. The end.
Yeah.
Although.
So yeah.
Okay,
He killed himself because of his poor pet fish.
Yeah. So, in the Morbuzak episode of this podcast, I implied we were going to learn stuff about Kodan, but I was misremembering and thought Mavra was Kodan. But in actuality, only Mavra is Mavra.
That is true.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, Kodan is Kodan and Mavra is Mavra. The sun will be up in a few hours.
So the Toa have the Toa have taken their transport into a crack in the Great Barrier, not really knowing where it goes or what's on the other side, but they think it's probably their best option anyway. And they muse about how they couldn't have gone back to Garkoro for a better boat, even though Makuta is defeated.
Metru.
And all of the significant threats are defeated. I guess the Vahki are just too much to
I
handle.
assume the storm didn't go away, and the Vahki.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So they dub their makeshift vessel the Lhikan in honor of the dead guy.
Yep.
Yay!
Yay!
Nathan, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was trying to sit down and everything that's on this chair kind of moved all at once. Sorry about
Please
that.
mute your microphone when you go to do that shit. You're just giving Curtis more editing to do.
I'm sorry, Curtis.
You think I'm gonna edit around that? You naive fool.
Hey, you! I don't like your girlfriend.
So,
Joke's on you, I'm single.
Okay, I'll play the song.
So as they're going through these caves, they encounter various dangerous rahi, various traps and tribulations, and eventually they get grabbed by a big old octopus
Yep.
and get dragged to the bottom of
Big
the
old octopus.
ocean floor.
The big old octopus, by the way, that is there all the way through until, chronologically speaking, until book 2, where I am finally vindicated.
What?
Oh.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about.
Fill me
Yeah,
in.
you guys, I was correct. Fucking... why do I forget her name now?
Nakama?
Nokama? Or
Yeah,
Gali?
Nakama. Nakama knew that shit was in there the whole time.
Yep.
She locked Gali in with that on purpose.
Yeah, so apparently, so she would see the carvings.
And also
Learn
face
to
down the
vibrate.
octopus, yeah.
Hey, Golly, come look at my DeviantArt. Also, I'm gonna lock you in. I'm gonna lock you. Hey, Golly, come look at my DeviantArt profile. I'm gonna lock you in a cave with an octopus.
Look at my DeviantArt profile, but don't mind the tentacles.
Oh no.
Oh no, I accidentally killed the toe of water. The Turaga are gonna be real mad at me. I guess.
dear. So,
Leave no evidence.
So the Kraken pulls the Lhikan down to the
yes,
bottom of the
that's
ocean.
What's the massive darkness
they-
doing, pulling things down?
And Vakama's best plan of action is to heat up the vessel so hot that the octopus can't hold on anymore. How did
goes
he not
back up
kill the
into
other
the-
Toa doing this?
I do love that it goes
it
into the
gets worse.
mindset of the octopus. I love
Yeah,
that they're
this
just
whole-
like... Yeah.
This whole situation gets even more stupid because it goes back up to the surface. Everyone's like, hey, oh, hey, cool, look at this, we're back. Then Matau gets jump scared back into the water. They go back into the water to save him. Do pretty much this exact same thing again. And then it's over.
Except now there's a whirlpool.
Well, yeah, so they save Matau from nearly drowning, and then immediately Vakama's like, right, Matau, drive. Like, no break whatsoever, just drive. And that's where they come across Jurassic Cave. It's full of the big boys.
Now, Liam, your cue is to yell. It's your cue to yell at me.
Okay. Well, is Liam still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I just don't give a shit
Okay, good.
anymore.
Yeah. So is there? Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's this
So-
guy named Mavra who's real crazy.
Yep. And
So, like-
Mavra has a bunch of pets.
My dad
Called Krali.
told me to get rid of the aquarium, so I ran away from home.
Yep. So he has a load of dangerous rahi and also Krali, which are like Vahki, but like shit.
Yeah, like
No, the opposite
they're
of
bad.
shit.
they're too effective, but not they're not effective at the thing the Vahki are for, which is to apprehend criminals and make them go back to work.
I mean, there's...
The
Yeah.
Krali
Yeah.
are the Anawa, Matau, Vakama combiner model.
Yes, yes, they are the combiner model. They look like a prototype of a robot, so that's something.
And they have the power of suck.
They have the power of suck. Yes, they make anything. They make anything that they apprehend weak and not able to go back to work for several days, weeks. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several days. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not effective, and apparently it's referred to as Napuro's folly because I guess some of the Matoran didn't know how to pronounce crawly.
Yeah.
Also,
maybe they just really liked dumping on
I'm
Nuparu.
sure this has nothing to do with Bionicle, but apparently Traveler's Tales refers to the textures of background characters in their video games as crawlies.
That's
That
weird.
is weird. Spelled the same. It's weird.
Huh.
I'm always so confused.
Wait, like all their games are just like Bionicle Heroes?
In all of Traveler's Tales' Lego games, the textures for background characters that are rendered at a lower resolution than the player characters are referred to as crawlies.
So they're just sub-bot characters, essentially?
All of the background characters in the hub areas, all of the civilian characters, all of the NPCs, basically.
Maybe that is a holdover from Bionicle
If
Heroes.
it's not as important for them to look as detailed and crisp as the player characters, their textures referred to as a crawly. I don't know why. I've never looked into
that's
it.
kind of the purpose that the crawly have. Essentially, they're like the proto.
Vahki.
Yeah. So they're just kind of like
guess.
mindless bot characters that don't really hold any significance.
The crawlies
except for being
seem
just there.
the crawlies seem
Or
almost
are they mindless?
the crawlies seem almost more intelligent than the Vahki.
Maybe that was their problem.
And they're also
They have a thirst for
they're
blood.
also programmed to be able to speak, sort of. They can record dialogue. They can record speech and play it back to people. And they're smart. That's probably also a bad thing. You don't want your police officers to be smart.
You also don't want your police officers to kill people on sight unless you explicitly tell them not to.
Yeah, like apparently Mavra doesn't tell them to bring one of the Toa back alive, and they're really excited about that. Like, oh boy, I get to kill a guy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this is America.
So so Mavra's captured them using his crawly,
Yeah.
and they're all like, "Ah, man, don't do that." And he's like, "Well, screw you, I'm gonna do that."
And then they're all like, actually, okay, so Mavra's an archivist who was taking care of some fish, and then Dume said the fish were dangerous, so they had to get rid of the fish. So Mavra took all the fish and went to live in a cave forever, and he thinks that the Toa are here to bring him back.
hmm By the way, we find out his entire backstory through a flashback within the
A
flashback.
flashback within a flashback being told by someone
then-
other than the first flashback.
And earlier we had a flash forward within the flashback,
Oh.
where remember, like right at the end of the
Yeah.
bit where it was the movie, and they're like, "And then we all came back to the island and lived happily ever after," except we didn't.
The Turaga are not as good as coherent storytellers as you would think from that being their whole job.
Yeah.
And there's a point here in this scene that I take significant issue with, because he's got this, like, tiger thing, I think it is, that apparently can sense when masks are being used, and it just
that's,
screams
crawly,
loud. Yeah, and it just
it's not a
screams
crawly,
loud enough to stop them using it. But, like, this works when he's trying to mind control Mavra, but not when... Not when Nakama is going invisible. It just doesn't
Vakama.
notice.
Vakama.
Vakama. It just doesn't give a shit then.
Well, no, it does still scream then, but Vakama's already far enough away that...
No,
I
it
guess
states that he went invisible while Mavra was busy talking. So why would he continue talking while this thing is right next to him screeching loud enough to stop Toa using their powers?
I don't know.
He's just so in love with the sound of his own voice, he's just, like, ignoring this.
Greg did it. Moving on.
Yeah.
It just annoyed me.
Nakama scissored Nuju.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, she did that.
Yes, she did.
Like,
That was a while
with her
ago.
legs.
But yeah, she
with
did
her
that.
legs. They called it scissoring. Nuju is unconscious, which either makes it better or worse, depending on your fetishes.
They're robots, they don't consent.
Aha.
Speaking of them being robots, at some point, I think Vakama, or it might be Matao, he refers to the Crowley as energy vampires, which implies that vampires are a thing in the Bionicle universe.
TuragaNuva apparently found a vampire he built out of Bionicle parts under a couch or something, and he said he was going to tear it apart, and I didn't want to retweet it because I think that's kind of sad. But then someone else was talking about, apparently someone was going through the Lego and they found a crucifix in their Lego boxes. And someone was like, "Why do you?"
Alright then.
And someone was like, "Why do you have a crucifix in there?" And I'm like, "It's to keep the vampires from stealing his Lego." And then
The power of Metru Nui compels you.
And then I finally had an excuse to link to Owen's mock of a Bionicle vampire, and I've just made it canon that there are Bionicle vampires that steal your Lego if you're not looking, so you have to find them and tear them apart.
Sure, why not? So yeah.
What if they just have what if the Twilight books just exist in universe, and that's why they know what vampires are.
Hey guys, just as a Utahn, I'm sorry for Twilight.
You're
not
from
directly
Utah,
responsible.
and she's from Utah, and Utah. Hold on.
You guys really should have nipped that in the bud
Hello,
at least
President.
after the second book.
Can you blow up Utah? Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Bye.
Okay. Anyway.
He said he likes children getting married, so he's not going to blow up Utah.
Yeah.
Excuse
So
me.
Vakama.
Yeah, I read about that the other day. Like, there are some, like, plenty of states where as long as they have the parents' consent, you could just marry at, like, 13.
Utah
It's
is
fine.
one of them.
Anyway, so Vakama sneaks off and finds the boat, and on his way back, then everybody gets into a big old fight, including the sea creatures and the Crawly, and some Vahki show up as well, all against the Toa and against each other, and then we get into this big old heart-to-heart between, well, not so much a heart-to-heart, more a fist-to-face of Mavra and Onewa and Wenua. And this bit gets weirdly personal. Do you think Greg might have been working through some friendship issues when he was writing
Yes.
this?
Yeah, it does seem like he was.
I
pretty
get the
pissed off
feeling he was
already.
talking from experience.
What if the elements of harmony are masks?
Oh my. Because, yeah, throughout this whole thing, One was like, oh, you don't really care about your friends, you're just using them to improve your own life. Greg, are you okay?
The real voyage
Are you
affair
okay,
is the
Greg?
friends we made along the way.
Aha! Comedies.
So Mavra eventually realizes that all this fighting, it's just doing more harm than good, and he tries to tell all the Rahi to
And
stop
then
attacking.
he died. The end.
And then he straight up dies.
He's like,
He gets
no,
dragged on-
my fish, stop fighting! So he jumps in.
Glomp. Yep, he gets dragged under the water and never seen again. Although, yeah, he is canonically dead. This isn't like a Disney death. He's just straight up gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the Toa, they eventually do actually get out of where they are, and they leave, and they find the new world, which has some birds on it. Yeah, there are birds there apparently.
There's only
No other
birds.
wildlife, just birds.
Yeah, Windu was just like, wait, what is this? A bird?
They joke.
I can live here happily.
They're having a debate about how the hell they can even live here, and they joke about, oh, Mattel's just gonna live in a fucking tree, I guess. He does. He does.
So I have a
Yep.
question for everyone. So by this
Yep.
time, the GSR is not confirmed, right?
Why
Nope.
do you keep saying things?
Sorry, I'm just saying.
Okay.
It just glosses over the fact there's only one sun over Metru Nui.
Yeah, well, there is only one sun there.
Yeah. Whereas there were two at Metru Nui. Like nobody cares.
Well, Metru Nui was underground.
There was
You
an
know, it had its
underground
own
sun.
skybox.
Refraction.
Yeah, Metru Nui has its own skybox. It's okay.
Refraction.
I think we settled on
nobody really
fiber
knows.
optic ceilings last time.
Yeah.
Hamburgers.
Yep. And yeah, so apparently the water around this new island is very salty. Not like the water around Metru Nui.
And it's actually water.
Yep. Unlike unlike most of everything else, this is actual water, not protodermis.
I'd like so they make a clear separation between liquid protodermis and water.
Yep.
Yep.
And when they're in the tubes, the liquid protodermis, like when they jump out, they're not still covered in it. So the liquid protodermis must be really viscous and like mucus-like. I imagine it's disgusting to swim through.
Well, it could be that, or it could be that
It is literally
solid
everything.
protodermis.
Literally every being in the Matoran universe is just ducks.
So apparently the liquid protodermis in Metru is called purified protodermis.
Yes.
So I assume it's more water-like than the other protodermis that is water-like. And also the toa of water is actually really just the toa of liquids.
Yeah. And also, it could just be that all the solid protodermis, which the toa and their armor are made from, is like extremely hydrophobic, so the water just slips off of them
Yes.
when they exit the
Yeah,
ships.
I'm afraid of water too.
So the sea around Metru Nui, that's just regular water.
Yep, that's straight up real water.
Yep.
Alright, so why is Nokama referred to as a toa of water
Because
when water didn't really exist?
Because the toa of water because the toa of water sounds better than the toa of liquids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I assume that she.
So if she can just manipulate any liquid, then she's kind of the most powerful, because like air is a liquid.
She's really it's like with Magneto. Magneto in Marvel Comics is basically restrained by his imagination and not much else. Like when he apparently he finds out that wood is somewhat magnetic, so he can start using that as his his powers. It's like, oh, I fucking read that wood is magnetic, so I'm attacking with trees now.
Grass.
Yep. And that's why when you have superpowers, reading is good. Beep boop.
Yeah. And that's it. We got to the end of the
wait,
book.
Finally.
I was
God.
so bored through half of this recording that I just made a Makuta Yoshi in Yoshi's Woolly World.
I hate Liam. Why are you so bored? I got through all my notes.
Yeah.
Now I got to read my chart.
Oh boy, your chart.
All right. So the Great Discs.
No.
Tom Metru's Great Disc was.
God, here we go.
Tom Metru's Great Disc was enlarge. So the embiggening disc. Metru's was unfortunately not levitation. It was the weakened disc. So it make weak. Metru was reconstitute at random. Metru was regenerate, which I guess works. Metru was teleport, not levitation. Metru, probably the one that makes the most sense, freeze. And,
that makes a lot of
and
sense.
then there was a time disc. We don't know what the time disc was. We just know that it was made into a mask.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of regeneration, the Metru disc, TuragaNuva, his mask is a mask of regeneration. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Presumably he used that to artificially extend his own lifespan.
Yeah, he's
So, I read this the other day. Did you guys know that the Karada all have names?
every single one of them.
Yep.
Yep, every single one of them.
Yep.
And they have some broken fucking abilities. We nearly went into this, but narrowly avoided it.
Dodge.
Thank God.
Dodge.
Yeah. I think we can just dodge the issue of talking about Krata.
No, we can dodge the issue of talking about dodge.
Zoom. And
All
now...
72?
This is
Alright,
what we've
so
been degraded to.
After Zoidberg.
I was just zooming away because I'm a freaking zoomer. Anyway.
Beep boop.
So yeah, I think we win. We win the book, guys.
We win!
We've beaten it.
Congratulations.
We did it!
I'm sorry,
We've
that
beaten
just
book
reminds
4
me
of
of that.
10.
That reminds me of that meme where it's like somebody somebody tried to make a reminder to have Alexa tell them to feed the baby, and instead it read it as defeat the baby.
Alexa, remind me to eat the baby.
So, Mr. Nathan Odin, sir.
Yeah.
Who is hashtag your guy? Who's your favorite boy, girl, whatever?
Niparu.
Oh, he's cool.
Yeah,
I like him.
and there's all sorts of more for.
It's just unfortunate that he'll always just be a Matoran.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'll never
It'd
get.
be really cool.
He'll never invent trains like he says he wants to.
It'd be really cool if he became like
Yeah.
a Wolverine character.
Yeah, it'd be real cool if he had.
Man, wouldn't
It'd
that
be
be
real cool if he
something?
had Wolverine claws and a weird ass shield and a scuba mask. And
And a
again,
mohawk.
yeah, and again, if he invented trains.
So, I think
It'll be
that's
really
probably
weird,
a
though.
good place to. That's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah.
Let's finish it up here, guys. Thank you all very much for reading along, watching along, and being cool as you always do. This show is brought to you by our sponsor, me.
Yeah, no one's approached us for a sponsorship deal yet. And Liam, would we?
Who in their right mind would?
I mean, I've seen stupider people. I've seen stupider things happen.
Well, yeah,
if
you're
you
you.
would.
Yeah, okay, Liam, if someone approaches for a sponsorship deal, would you go for it?
All 7 of our listeners.
Hey, we got
Yeah,
more
we've
than that.
got like 6. That's less. That's less. Oh.
So if any of those listeners want to sponsor us, or if you want to be on the show, just either hit us up on Twitter at is it at the Beaverhouse?
I have a
forget.
list.
Like Beaverhouse YT or something. I don't know. It's in the description
Be-
probably.
Beaver-
Don't even
Or
use
just
that
comment on the
account.
video.
No one uses the Beaverhouse Twitter. Just at Legend of Newbie, I have a Twitter list of all the people that have been on the show.
To Linkara at that guy with. Wait a minute.
I
I mean,
mean,
just message Vakiti over Facebook. So yeah.
Yeah. If you can stalk us on Facebook, do that too. Or just leave a message down in the comments of the YouTube video. We'll probably read it
we
at
can
some
reach
point.
out to Liam.
And remember to send this video to everyone you need to punish.
Yeah.
Send this video to everyone you love, everyone you hate especially, and remember to read along with
Send this
us.
video to
next
send this
time.
video to at linkhara19 at twitter.com.
Send this video to twitter.com/Twitter
Yeah.
and read along with us.
Send
Next
this-
time we will be
Send
reading
this video.
the first part of Book 5. We'll be reading the prologue to Chapter 22. That is Chapter 22 inclusive, so you read Chapter 22 of Book 5,
Send this book.
which is the next
Send
bit.
this book to twitter.com.
No, you're not allowed to speak anymore.
Twitter.com/Facebook.
That's,
You're not allowed to speak.
That's it.
I
That's
enjoy
the
it.
end. The show is cancelled. We're over.
We finished.
I
Friends.
enjoy it. Significant shrinkage.
Gathered Friends is cancelled. Join us next time for Collected Acquaintances.
Next time,
Well,
guest
you
Greg
tried.
Varshty.
Collected
I mean, we do want to get Swart back at some point.
Swartz already said he's coming back for Time Trap. He's going to. It's not a question.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Wow.